This game is one of the biggest, if not the biggest game of the year in South Korea. It's nearly midnight there for the kickoff. They'll be keeping a keen eye on Heung-min Son and also Hee-chan Wan. And let's go now straight to former Arsenal winger Perry Groves, alongside your league commentator for Tottenham versus Wolves at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Ian Danter.
Thank you, John, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. For this live uninterrupted commentary of what should be a terrific match. We were here last Saturday, Perry and I, and Spurs have had this horrible habit this season of conceding late goals, 8 in all after 90 minutes. That included 2 against Wolves in the reverse fixture. However, the tables were turned here against Brighton when Brennan Johnson crashed the ball home from close range at the south stand end to net all 3 points for Ange Postecoglou's side. That means they've won their last 5 Premier League games here, and they've scored in their last 36 successive Premier League games. The last team to stop them, Wolverhampton Wanderers, back in March of 2023. Wolves, who've been doing so well under Gary O'Neill, have won 2 of their last 3 away matches in the Premier League, both in the capital at Brentford and Chelsea. And having won last time out against Spurs and the time before, they've got the chance this afternoon to win 3 in a row versus Spurs in the league for the first time in their history. Spurs are forced into changes with injuries to Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie at fullback. Emerson Royal and Ben Davies coming for them. Yves Bissouma preferred to Rodrigo Bentancur, and Son Heung-min, back from the Asia Cup, got a sub-appearance here against Brighton, set up the winner. He starts in place of Timo Werner. So Spurs line up with Vicario in goal, Royal, Romero, Van der Ven and Davis in a back 4, Sarr and Bissouma the holding midfielders, Kulusevski, Maddison and Son behind Richarlison. Just one change for Wolves from that defeat to Brentford. Gary O'Neill welcomes back another South Korean who'll be on the pitch today, Hwang Hee-chan in place of the injured Matthias Cunha. So that's the only change for the 2-0 home defeat to Brentford. Sarr is the goalkeeper. Kilman, Dawson and Totti are the back 3. Semedo, Lemina, João Gomez and Aït-Nouri are the midfield 4. Neto and Sarabia in behind Hwang. Quick look at the substitutes benches as well. Austin, Skip, Højbjerg, Dragoshin, Kiel, Werner, Lo Celso, Johnson and Bentancur are the Spurs substitutes. The Wolves subs, Bentley, Doherty, once a Spur, Santiago Bueno and Hugo Bueno, Traore, Doyle, Bayagard, Chirewa and Fraser. Our referee today is Anthony Taylor, and straight away, Perry, it's quite clear the Wolves have won the toss and they've decided to make Spurs attack the south stand in the first half that they normally like to attack in the second.
Well, exactly what he did against Brighton, Dance, wasn't it? Or anyway, say they attacked the south stand end in the second half, and they managed to suck the ball in, didn't they, from Brennan Johnson. Brilliant ball from Son Heung-min from that left-hand side. The trumpeter of Herb Albert's just finished his little Tijuana Brass segment.
There's another cracking reference for the teenagers before we've even kicked off. It's a real cosmopolitan feel here to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this afternoon. So many fans that we've seen who've come all the way from South Korea, or maybe they're expats living in this country, but they've come here to support not just Son Heung-min but Hwang Hee-chan as well. There are South Korean flags in evidence all around the stadium. And we're ready for the off. Wolves will be in their change strip of all red, Spurs in all white, kicking from left to right as Perry and I look from the back of the west stand. The south stand to our right with its massive curve top, and then the north stand to our left, almost as tall. And the ball's back with Vicario in the Spurs goal, away to our left-hand side that Wolves are attacking. Straight away, Hwang gets involved with Christian Romero. No foul, says referee Taylor, and Yves Bissouma clears the ball down this near touchline, hooks it field brilliantly by Richarlison, and now Spurs are on the attack. Maddison looks for Son, inside left channel. Davies coming up in support on his outside. It's laid in field to Maddison, swings it across to Richarlison, right hand corner of the box, across the facing on, and it's flicked out of play by Kilman for an early corner to Tottenham Hotspur, 0-0.
Yeah, it was good attack and play from Spurs, just starting on this right hand side, great little flick in from Richarlison to Maddison. Maddison gets the ball in that 10 position, back to Richarlison just on the edge of the 18-yard box. He just tries to curl it the far post for John Heung-min. In the end, it's just a slight deflection, goes out for a corner for Spurs over on their left hand side.
In the southeast corner be James Maddison to strike this right-footed. 3 Spurs players standing around the penalty spot. Romero, Davis and Richarlison being man-to-man marked by 3 Wolves players, and a fairly busy 6-yard area as well. Still we wait for Maddison to deliver the corner. Here's the whistle, and delivers it now into the near post, headed up and out by Totti, and Lamina's there as well. Bissouma heads it back into the box. Totti there again to head it half clear. It might drop for Wolves in the centre of their own half, but Spurs win it back, and it's guided back to Vicario. 0-0.
Dan, it was interesting that Spurs counter-attack all started because Wolverhampton Wanderers were on the front foot. Started off from Sarabia closing down Ben Davis, then it ball came out to Romero. Wang Hee-Chang went and closed him down. So I think Gary O'Neill's set his stall out that he wants his front 3, which is Wang Hee-Chang playing as centre forward, Pedro Neto just to the left of him behind, and Pablo Sarabia just behind him on the right hand side. I think he wants Wolves to go and close down.
Ball's with Pape Sarr on halfway, scored the equaliser here a week ago to get Spurs back level against Brighton, who asked them a lot of questions in that fixture. Wolves fans in the northeast corner on the far side from us, filling out that away end. Brilliant support have come down from the Midlands. Wolves trying to win the ball back, and Maddison can't keep the ball in play on this near side, but it did come off a Wolves toe last of all. Spurs throw, 2.5 gone on Talksport, 2 0-0.
Dancy wondered what sort of role that Ange Postecoglou would ask Ben Davis to play. Obviously he's playing, we thought he'd be just in the flat back 4 over left back position. He's not. He's coming right in to play in the inside left position, which Udogie has been playing successfully for Spurs throughout the whole season.
Now he's gone on the outside of Son as the ball's threaded through infield instead, up to the edge of the box, looking for the run of Richarlison, but a super starting position from Jose Sarr. But Spurs have won the ball back, left-hand side with Ben Davis, left-hand corner of the box, in for Maddison, a little dummy for Richarlison, trying to turn and shoot, but it was well defended in the end by Joao Gomez, but Son picks it up, left wing for Spurs, right across the face of goal, and Dawson heads it up in the air. Sarr will claim it ahead of Richarlison, and the danger passes for Wolves, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a great little over there from James Maddison as the ball came in from Ben Davis on that left-hand side. Unfortunately, Richarlison didn't quite time his run because then he was facing with his back to goal, couldn't get himself turned. In the end, it was a really good defensive header from Craig Dawson at the near post, managed to get himself in that area. Ball just looped up in the air. That enabled Jose Sarr to come and pluck it out of the air.
Dawson stayed down after winning that aerial challenge, so there's no play at the moment. You're listening to Talksport 2, Saturday afternoon, game day. Already Liverpool have gone 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League, courtesy of a 4-1 win at Brentford, but at a little bit of cost, injuries to Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota. Arsenal have just taken the lead at Burnley. Martin Odegaard on 4 minutes at Turf Moor. And elsewhere, Northampton in League One have taken the lead against Bristol Rovers. No one in 4 for the Cobblers, but Patrick Brough has put them ahead at Sixfields. Back underway here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Ryan Aït-Nouri being pressurised by Kulusevski. Totti hooks it up in the air at the edge of his own box. Wolves struggling to clear, but now they do clear. And it was Joao Gomez who finds Wang. Wang has got Sarabia moving ahead of him. And now he will find Pablo Sarabia, middle of the Spurs half. Plenty back in Spurs white. Sarabia goes for goal from distance, straight down the throat of Vicario, 0-0.
Yeah, it was really good break from Wolverhampton on their right-hand side. Sarabia picked the wrong option. He could have come inside to Wang Hee-Chang, but Wolves have got themselves back in possession again.
Because Semedo did well to dispossess Son on the halfway line. And the ball's going to go back to the halfway line for Maximilian Kilman. Part of the 3-man centre-half system that Gary O'Neill deploys at Wolves. Totti out to Ryan Aït-Nouri, the left wing back. Good ball down the left-hand side for Pedro Neto. Up against Christian Romero. Drives for the byline. Tries to get ahead of Romero. Tries to chop inside him now. Across the 6-yard line. And Pape Sarr and Bissouma were there first. And Bissouma will chip it forward. Richarlison trying to win the ball, but Dawson out-muscled him. And no foul, said the referee. Here's Wolves again with Sarabia up to the edge of the area, flicks it right for Semedo. Great drive, save, and Wang turns the rebound over the crossbar. Massive chance for Wolves to hit the front inside 6 minutes. Spurs complained to the referee that they should have had a free kick. Wolves played on and nearly scored. 0-0.
Hwang's got to score. Brilliant effort from Semedo on the right-hand side of the box. He's tried to hit it across Vicario. Vicario goes down to his right-hand side. The ball bounces up. And Hwang Hee-Chang just got to have a little bit more composure, Dance. If he has a bit more composure, then he just calms himself down. Then he can side-foot it over Vicario. He's actually tried to smashed it over the crossbar.
It might have been the pace at which the ball came back to him off Vicario's gloves that made it slightly more difficult than Hwang would have wanted, but still, big chance not taken by Wolves in these early stages. 6 minutes gone, 0-0. Doncaster lead at Grimsby in League 2, and that's Luke Molyneux who scored the opener at that game at Blundell Park. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Wolves in possession inside their own half. Semedo, he's dispossessed by Bissouma. Now Richarlison, edge of the D, he slipped as he tried to shoot, and the ball just bobbles harmlessly wide for Wolves, and they have a goal kick. 0-0.
Yeah, it was really good play from Yves Bissouma. Just made sure that he went and closed down Nelson Semedo, just picked his pocket and then said the ball just come to Richarlison, and I hope he doesn't look down, Dance, and pretend that the divots come, because unless there's a mole or one of the spring heads has come up, you don't get divots in the modern day pitches these days. So his standing foot just gave way. But it's been a really good start in this first 7 minutes, because to be fair to Wolves, they've been on the front foot, they've been closing down, and Anthony Taylor, the referee, he's actually let the game flow. You know, there's been 3 or 4 heavy challenges, and quite rightly he hasn't pulled them up, so hopefully that'll carry on in that vein.
Hwang played in behind, just down the left-hand side, almost got away for the moment for Wolves, but Spurs got 2 players around him to win it back. MK Dons lead at Swindon in League 2, Stephen Wern. Spurs coming down the far left-hand side, the east-hand side, opposite our commentary position. Son works it back to Bissouma on halfway. Infield it goes to Christian Romero. Short pass up to the halfway line, and Emerson Royale will change at fullback today for Spurs with those injuries to Porro and Udogi. Kulusevski on the right wing has got support from Pape Sarr, being watched by Totti, has to work it back to Christian Romero. Wolves have got pretty much everybody behind the ball, with Spurs having it midway point of the Wolves half. Only Hwang slightly ahead of the play. Sarr chips it into the area. Comfortable claim for Jose Sarr. Doncaster 2 up at Grimsby, now in League 2. Joe Ironside and Blackburn lead at Preston in that local derby in the Championship. And Sammy Smodics has scored his 18th of the season. And Jacob Greaves has given Hull the lead at Huddersfield. Huddersfield under new management, Andre Brighton-Writer. Seen his team go 1-0 down inside 10 minutes at the John Smiths. 0-0 here at Spurs. Wolves getting away down the right-hand side. Semedo, edge of the area, lobs it deep to the far post. Didn't wrap his foot round it enough. And he had 2 players to aim at in there, Hwang and Neto. But the cross sailed behind for a goal kick. 0-0.
Really good play by Sarabia, just coming in, field from that right wing position. Just a reverse pass to Semedo, going on the overlap. And all he's got to do, Dance, is feed it along that 6-yard box. You've got Hwang Hee-Chang and Pedro Neto just lurking in the middle. So it's a couple of times Wolves have got in really good positions, and the end product has been very, very poor.
That's the voice of former Arsenal title winner Perry Groves on Talksport 2. Free kick given to Spurs for a foul on Emerson Royale. You're listening to Tottenham 0, Wolves 0 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. Now, Kilman stepping out from the back 3 here and charging forward for Wolves. Releases Hwang down the far right-hand side. Faced up just for a moment by Van der Ven. And he'll give it back to Lemina. Tucks it in field for his defensive midfield partner, Joao Gomez. And Wolves will keep possession and work it back to the halfway line, and first Dawson and then Totti. Neat ball out to this left-hand side, and Pedro Neto. Now, Joao Gomez tried to turn and head for the penalty area, but Romero was right on top of him immediately. And again, Wolves have to keep possession and go back into their own half. Richarlison pressing the goalkeeper, but Sarr clears neatly up to Sarabia. Beautiful touch to bring it down from Pablo Sarabia, and then he whips the ball out to the inside left channel looking for Neto, but it's just a little too straight, and Vicario can come out to the edge of the area and claim. 10 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, that was a velvet carpet slippers touch there from Sarabia, just picking the ball out, and he's trying to pick out Pedro Neto on this right-hand side, and he just tried to ping it out to him. He should go in with the outside of his left foot, Dance, instead of the instep.
Here's Son, left-hand side for Spurs, midway point of the Wolves half. Ball into the area was well intercepted for Wolves by Lemina. Little toe poke from Sarabia, finds Hwang, still inside his own half, pirouettes to try and get away from Van der Ven, who brought him down. Free kick, Swindon 0, MK Dons 2 now in League 2. Stephen Wern with his second of the afternoon for the Dons, who've lost 2 of their last 3. Quick free kick trying to get Aït-Nouri away down the left-hand side for Wolves. Not much support in Wolves red at the moment. He's left-hand corner of the Spurs box. Lays it off to Neto. He gives it back to Aït-Nouri. He'll chip it into the area off the thigh of Romero. Sarr will clear, but that won't find Kulusevski. It's Totti who wins it back. Neto on this near side, the left, hugging the left-hand touchline, will work it back for Totti once more. Good possession from Wolves. They're quite comfortable at the moment. Dawson hits a ball inside to out, looking to get Semedo away. What a pass from Craig Dawson, fully 60 yards. Semedo running at Ben Davies, but great challenge from Davies, and then Semedo caught him. And Davies wins Spurs a free kick, and he played well there against Semedo when he looked second favourite, 0-0.
As you said there, what a pass from Craig Dawson, a little bit of fade on it, fully 60 yards from the centre of the pitch out to right hand side. Semedo tries to go on the outside of Ben Davies. Really good defending from Ben Davies, just sort of leant to his right shoulder to encourage Semedo to go outside him, just put his Inspector Gadget leg out, just whip the ball away from him, then Semedo ended up pushing him over. See what Wolves are doing really well, Dan. I thought they'd go into a 5-4-1 when they're out of position. Not, they're going to a 5-3-2. So they just hoping that obviously the 3 midfield players, Sarabia coming back to help out Lemina and Gomez, and then obviously they're causing Spurs problems because they leave Neto and Hwang Hee-Chang up front. At the moment they've left 2v2.
Dawson lobs the ball clear for Wolves. It'll bounce over the halfway line, directly in between Ange Postecoglou and Gary O'Neill, down beneath our commentary position. In Scotland, Aberdeen 0, Hibs 1. Martin Boyle, Neil Warnock still can't win a league game quite yet. He's won in the cup since going in at Aberdeen.
Just taken Junior Hoylett, I think, just gone up there, isn't he?
That's right. But they trail at Pittodrie to Hibs. Now Son Heung-min back in the Spurs starting lineup this afternoon, faced up by Semedo, left-hand corner of the box. On the overlap goes Maddison. Semedo goes with him. Little twinkle toes from James Maddison. Has to poke it back to Son, who'll work it in field to Van der Ven. Van der Ven up to Maddison at the edge of the area with his back to goal. Receives it back from Bissouma. Short pass into Sarr, who works it out to the right wing. Kulusevski just inside the area. Chips the ball to the far post, headed up in the air by Semedo. Good defending. Son was right behind him. Might drop for Ben Davies at the edge of the area. Volleys it over the bar left-footed. Couldn't keep it down. That's the first serious effort the Spurs have had on goal this afternoon.
Yes,
0-0.
Emerson Royale causing a few problems from this right back position, going into the inside right, just coming out to Kulusevski. Just tried to feed it with his left foot, just bend it to far post to Song, gets headed out, comes out to Ben Davies in the edge of the box. You think he's going to get his volley on target because he's got a very, very good culture's left foot. Ben Davies gets underneath it, smashes over Jose So's bar for a goal kick.
In the Championship, Ipswich have just taken the lead at Swansea. Nathan Broadhead 2-2 for the former Everton youngster. Ipswich know that Leeds won today and Southampton won last night. Live on Talksport 2, they'll want to keep the pressure up on those above them in that race for an automatic place. Free kick to Wolves, just over the halfway line here. 14 minutes gone on Talksport 2, game day exclusive. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you in North London at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where we await the first goal. But we've had chances, the best of which has gone to Hwang Hee-Chan, who skied a rebound over the bar after a Semedo shot had been palmed away by Vicario. Again, Wolves win the ball and there's no free kick. And Pedro Neto is advancing down the left-hand side, chips the ball early to the edge of the area. Sarabia brings it down at the edge of the 18-yard line. Tees Aït-Nouri, check back onto his stronger left foot, then onto his right. Shot is well saved by Vicario in the end, plunging to his left. It looked for a moment that Aït-Nouri was desperate to get the ball onto his favoured left foot, but he checked back onto his right, edge of the D, but couldn't curl it past the goalkeeper. 0-0.
Very, very slick passing there from Wolverhampton Wanderers, from Pedro Neto out to Sarabia on the right-hand side. He comes back into Aït-Nouri. Thought Aït-Nouri was getting his shot with his left foot, comes back onto his right foot. He's trying to bend it inside Vicario's left-hand post, doesn't get enough purchase on it. In the end, it's a really simple save for Vicario down to his left-hand side.
Wolves won the reverse fixture in the 97th minute. It was live on Talksport, you might remember, when it was 1-0 to Spurs going into stoppage time, and then a Pablo Sarabia brilliant volley from the left-hand side of the box, and then a swept-home finish by Mario Lemina on 97 turned the game around. 0-0 here though, 15 minutes gone. Kulusevski for Spurs gets to the byline, Doesn't put the ball in yet. Ait Nouri with him, so he rolls it back to Emerson Royale at the right-hand corner of the box, but he's being pressurised by João Gomes, and the referee is letting an awful lot go here. There's real tigerish, tenacious work to try and win the ball back from both sets of players. Now Totti heads the ball up in the air. Dawson gets there in front of Richarlison, who barged into him, and that is a free kick, and there's 2 Wolves players down on the deck. 0-0.
I hope, Danter, Anthony Taylor let this game flow exactly as he is, because this is back to like the 1980s, isn't it? Where there's tackles. There's tackles going in, no players rolling around, no players moaning. Wolves have probably won the majority of those little 50-50s. To be fair to Lamina and João Gomes in that midfield area, they've been very, very strong, very physical.
Well, João Gomes has stayed down so that physios are being asked to come on and treat him. You're listening to Tottenham 0, Wolves 0 on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Manchester City versus Chelsea live today, contract free, with a Now membership. Search Now Sports, and don't forget we'll give you regular updates on that game at the Etihad. It's a 5:30 kickoff during the course of the game day phone-in over on Talksport from 5:30. Jamie O'Hara and his former manager Dean Saunders taking your calls at the end of all this afternoon's 3 o'clock games. That's the game day phone-in on Talksport with Jamie and Dean. We've got some live golf for you tonight on Talksport 2 as well. The Genesis Genesis Invitational, and Tiger Woods was pulled out yesterday, having developed flu-like symptoms.
So he very distraught, didn't he, when he was on the buggy, when he was being taken off the course.
But we'll have live golf for you from 7 p.m. through to midnight on Talksport 2 tonight on moving day. So Gomez receiving some treatment. Elsewhere, Carlisle 0, Cambridge 1 in League 1. Bottom of the table, Carlisle 6 straight defeats trail to a goal from Sully Kaikai. And we will eventually have a Wolves free kick when Gomez is back on his feet. But he is flat on his back, receiving treatment. I don't know whether he got caught in the head. They're keeping his head steady whilst they're just checking on him, the Wolves physios. It's Lamina, actually, forgive me, that's down. Hopefully he's okay. Totti standing over him, making sure that everything's going to be all right. And Lamina is now sitting up, thankfully.
Yeah, obviously the Wolves physio just going through their concussion protocols with Mario Lamina. It was just a coming together. It was an accident. Richarlison, as the ball bounced up, they just both challenged. Lamina got there first, the challenge just a little bit late. Quite rightly, Anthony Taylor gave the free kick. And I think they're just obviously checking all of his neck movement as well.
Yeah.
I think Mayo Lamina's going to be okay. He'll have to come off, obviously, for the 30 seconds.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to be very, very careful. They have to these days. We know how concussion protocols have changed our way of thinking about when players get injured out there on the field of play. Lamina, he's walking unaided to this near touchline, so he'll be back out in a minute. Grimsby get a goal back in League 2 at home to Doncaster. Danny Rose penalty makes it Grimsby 1, Doncaster 2. Not many goals about in the Premier League, just the one so far in the 3 o'clocks. That's Arsenal leading at Burnley through that early Martin Ødegaard goal. Back underway here with a free kick for Wolves into the Spurs half, but Romero and Van der Ven between them guide the ball back to Vicario. It's back with Christian Romero. Bissouma in between the two centre halves, darts up towards the halfway line and plays it up to Ben Davies. He slides it out to the left wing, and Son Heung-min back in field for Bissouma. Little ball backwards of square for Christian Romero. Bissouma again at the edge of the centre circle, finds Pape Sarr. Now they've switched play out to this near side, the Spurs right. The Spurs attack the south stand in this first half on Talksport 2. Lamina can now come back onto the field, so we're back to 11 against 11. Van der Ven by the centre circle, swings the ball out left for Son. On the overlap is Ben Davies, tries to whip a first-time crossing, comes off the heels of Kilman and out for a throw as Cardiff take the lead in the Championship at Norwich. Jamilu Collins for Cardiff, who've lost 5 out their last 6. Norwich won in the week, but there's supporter unrest against David Wagner, I think it's fair to say.
They're only one defeat last 7, Norwich, isn't it?
Yep, but they're not HP, the fans. Son whips across him for the left-hand side, and Totti let it go quite intelligently, actually. He could have got his head to it. He knew that Kulusevski was nearby, but the bounce of the ball allowed him to just move out of the way and let the ball drift to this near touchline for a Wolves throw. 0-0.
Good awareness from Totti. I think he got a massive shout from Jose Sarr. Brilliant ball in from Song Hyun-min from that left-hand side, just whipping it across the 6-yard box. There was good communication from Jose Sarr and Totti, the Wolverhampton on the centre half. He said, just let it roll across him.
Kulusevski has it again, down by the corner flag on this right-hand side. Brilliantly turns inside Lamina, but can't get past Ait Nouri. And Ait Nouri's ball up to halfway gives Hwang something to chase. That's brilliant defending there from Van der Ven. Just got in front of his man in the nick of time and then guided the ball all the way back to his keeper. That's what all the applause was for. But then given away by Emerson Royal. Pedro Neto has it inside the box, left-hand side, looking to wriggle clear and find some space. Has support from Totti. Neto again goes infield to Lamina. Ait Nouri will go backwards of square to Dawson, just inside the Spurs half. Back to the halfway line it goes, and Kilman. Early ball out to Semedo. Sarabia has made a run down the right-hand side of the box for Wolves. 2 to aim at with the cross. In it goes. Neto tries to head it goalwards, but it comes off the top of his head. Drops far side, but Ait Nouri can't get there first. It's cleared away, but kept in play by Totti on this near side. Wolves come again at 0-0. It's Ait Nouri down to the left wing, and Totti Gomez further down the left-hand side of the box. Neto trying to whip it across the face of goal. Dreadful attempt at across there. Shanked it right behind for a goal kick. Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1 in the Premier League. Ollie Watkins. Wrexham lead Notts County in the battle of the 2 promoted sides from the National League. Stephen Fletcher. Birmingham 0, Sunderland 1. Jack Clark. That's another goal for him. 15 for the season at a sold-out St Andrews. And Bolton lead luckless Charlton by a goal to 0. Victor Adebayo. Bolton 6 unbeaten. Charlton no win in 16. And they're behind at the tough sheet. I said that very carefully. 0-0 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Behind at the where?
Tough sheet, Community Stadium. Halfway through the first half, don't make me say it again. Kulusevski, right-hand side, up against Ait Nouri. Checks onto his left foot and just slides it back a couple of yards to Maddison. Maddison's got options all to his left, pretty much. He's played up to Bissouma, neat turn, slides it out to the right wing, and Emerson Royal level with the edge of the area, but he elects not to cross and gives it back to Maddison. Wolves really do have everybody back behind the ball in their own defensive third, as it's back with Royal on this near side, the Spurs right. Bit of irritation around us. The Spurs fans want the ball moved quicker. It's now going out left via Pape Sarr to Son Heung-min. Son, 2 Wolves players facing him up, fires it back in field to Van der Ven. Little flick pass to his left for Bissouma. They've come back out to the right-hand side, Spurs, to try and make it work. Kulusevski slides into the area. Maddison with his back to goal, trying to play it across the face of goal for Bissouma. But now it's 3-on-2. Spurs have got to get players back, and a poor pass from João Gomez. They had 3-on-2 Wolves, but João Gomez's pass was so far ahead of Neto. Big mistake, 0-0.
Dante's chose the wrong option. Hwang Hee-chang was completely free on his right-hand side. To be fair to Wolves, they're defending really well, very compact. It's all very congested in that central area. But Wolves have just got to be better with that final pass. If he picks the right pass, Hwang Hee-chang has got acres of space on that right-hand side, comes out to Pedro Neto and actually hits the ball out of play. Spurs are struggling at the minute, Dance, because it's so congested. And we said about that 5-3-2 formation when they're out of possession, Wolves. You've got Ben Davies coming in from the left-hand side, Emerson Royal coming in from the right-hand side. That's congesting all that space for James Maddison. He can't get himself on the ball. Spurs need more width.
That's Perry Groves, you can hear alongside me. Ian Danter here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Middlesbrough lead at Leicester, the Championship leaders, a goal to 0. Finn Azaz. Blackburn have doubled their lead at Preston, Sam Gallagher. Barnsley won up at Fleetwood in League One, Sam Cosgrove. And Charlton equalise at Bolton through Thierry Small. That's 1-1. Totti just brings down Sarr down the right-hand side, just outside the area. Free kick awarded to Spurs down the right-hand side of the penalty area at the edge of the box, and only, I would say, 5 yards from the dead ball line, right-hand side, 0-0.
Yeah, it's just Kulusevski releasing Sarr. Just Totti coming out, sided really well, just went to push the ball on the outside of him. And Totti just put his right shoulder across Pape Sarr, just bundled him to the ground. Quite rightly, Anthony Taylor gave the free kick. Really dangerous position now. James Maddison and Kulusevski over the ball, so it's whether Kulusevski decides he's going to whip it in with his left foot. It looks like James Maddison was pulled rank.
Well, it's just a notional one-man wall protecting the near post for Wolves. Pablo Sarabia, the man in it, And Kulusevski has moved away. It's just James Maddison with his free kick down the right-hand side of the box. 25 minutes gone, 0-0. A packed 6-yard area for him to fire the ball into, unless he wants to pull it back, because Sarr and Kulusevski are both lurking unmarked at the edge of the box. Here comes Maddison. He goes at pace at the near post, headed out by Hwang. Comes out to Pape Sarr, swing and a miss. Flicked on though, Richarlison's almost in. Craig Dawson headed it behind for a corner kick under pressure. Good defending, but it is a Spurs corner, 0-0.
Yeah, I think with James Maddison there, he's got to make sure he misses the man at the front post, which is Wang Hee-Chang. If I was him, Dance, I'd just put a little dink ball up, make it a fight ball basically, you know, to try and get the knockdowns. In the end, Richarlison gets the header. Dawson heads the ball out for a corner again for Spurs over on their left-hand side.
Which will be taken by James Maddison in that southeast corner. Another right-footed in-swinger. Richarlison and Romero making a little love train in front of the penalty spot. Whips in by Maddison. Dawson there again to head clear at the near post. Straight back to Maddison, who brings the ball down under control. Faced up by Joao Gomez. Now Son darts for the byline left-hand side and a little foot in. Puts it behind for another Spurs corner at the south stand end. 0-0 as Port Vale take the lead at Cheltenham. Nathan Smith. That's Darren Moore's first game in charge at Port Vale in front at Cheltenham, who are managed by Port Vale's previous manager Darryl Clark. And Salford lead Barrow by a goal to nil. Elsewhere, that's in League 2. Corner to Spurs at 0-0. 27 minutes played on Talksport 2. Again, Maddison to take. Raises both arms above his head. Whips it in under the crossbar. Headed up in the air by Davis. Richarlison tries to help it goalwards. It's a tangle of legs. And Wolves smuggle it clear. And then Bissouma wins it back on this near side, the right. Infield to Romero. Now Kulusevski, level with the edge of the area. Gets it on his left, puts it into the box, but it's a comfortable claim for Jose Sarr. Stays 0-0 on Talksport 2. Don't forget Jeff Stelling back on Talksport Breakfast when you wake up Monday morning, along with Andy Townsend to reflect on all of the weekend's action. And Jim White's going to be joined by Graham Souness and Alan Pardew on Monday morning. No Simon, he's back Tuesday to Friday. But Alan Pardew will join in the fun with Jim and with Graham on Monday morning.
I thought you were going to say Alan Partridge for a minute then.
It could happen.
That'd have been interesting.
It could happen. Here's Pablo Sarabia for Wolves. 0-0 the score. Guides the ball up to Hwang just over halfway line. We've seen a bit more from Spurs in these last 5 or 10 minutes. Wolves have been asked a few more questions of, I would say, Perry, in these last few.
Yeah, Spurs just moved the ball a little bit quicker. Again, I just think, from Spurs' point of view...
Nori, though, gets away down the left-hand side, skips inside Royale. Neto down the left-hand side of the box. Pretty agricultural challenge from Van der Ven, but he got the ball, didn't get any of the man, and Spurs have it back. Listen to the applause around us for the effort that Mickey Van der Ven put in. But then Son tries to bring the ball out of the sky, and that just allows Nelson Semedo to calmly win it back for Wolverhampton Wanderers as we approach the half-hour mark on Talksport 2. Totti just drops the shoulder to get away from Dejan Kulusevski. Lovely through ball as well. Hwang's away inside the area, left-hand side, angles tight, checks onto his right, slides it back to Joao Gomez. Joao Gomez has got Semedo to his right, and Semedo can't be the challenger. Bissouma, who gets it clear, and now Spurs can counter. Maddison releases Richarlison down the left-hand side, up against Dawson, into the area. Richarlison still has it, tried to slide it across to Maddison, but a Wolves player just got a toe ending on it. And then there's an offside flag and a foul that's gone against Tottenham Hotspur. Wolves have a free kick. End-to-end stuff here on Talksport 2, but it's still goalless.
Dance, this is like the LA Lakers against the Boston Celtics, isn't it? Because it has turned into basketball. Because Wolves have had some brilliant opportunities when they've been in Spurs' final third. This time it was Wang Hee-Chang being released in the inside left position. He actually puts Van der Ven on his backside, just checks back inside him. He should be shooting with his right foot. He's tried to just roll it across to Joao Gomez. He gives the ball away. Then it comes out to Richarlison. And then Spurs have a really good counter-attack. And then they pick the wrong choice of pass. So in the final third, Dance, there's just that little bit of quality that is missing from both teams. But it's been a really good spectacle in this first half an hour because Wolverhampton Wanderers have been a bit more expansive and progressive than I thought they would be.
That's former Arsenal legend Perry Groves that we've smuggled inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium again this afternoon with his comedy nosing glasses down the Tottenham High Road. Still got red socks on though, ever the rebel. Son on halfway for Spurs, dispossessed by Joao Gomez, but this time it's a foul and a free kick to Tottenham, bang on the halfway line. Tranmere are in front against the League Two leader Stockport by a goal to nil. No one in 3 for the Super White Army, but Tom Davis has given them the lead at Prenton Park. Son slowly getting back to his feet. Of course, he injured his fingers in a ping-pong ding-dong when they were having a bit of an argument about table tennis in South Korea.
Very seriously.
They do.
I think it was over. Where was there a let? I think Son wanted the net.
He wanted the players to eat and bond, but they were too interested in going and playing table tennis. So it turned into a bit of a set too. Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Oh, it's a massive game at the bottom of the Championship. And Sheffield Wednesday lead through Ike Ugbo, who scored 2 in 2 now for the Owls as they try and get themselves to. That's 21st against 23rd. And Swansea equalise against Ipswich. Jerry Yates at the Swansea.com Stadium. Spurs well, they've won a foul. João Gomez barging into Maddison, who just pushes João Gomez away. The free kick will be Tottenham's, just to the right of the centre circle. So it is currently Spurs 0, Wolves 0. I think Totti Gomez is down injured. For the latest odds with the score at 0-0, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Spurs to win at 8-13, Wolves to win 19-5. The draw is priced at 11-4. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18+, begambleaware.org. Free kick taken by Spurs at 0-0, 32 gone. It's at the right-hand corner of the box with Yves Bissouma being hassled and harried by João Gomez. Bissouma up to the edge of the area, tries to find Kulusevski. Maddison springs it right, looking for Saar, but he's overhit the pass and it goes out of play for a throw-in. Fleetwood equalise at home to Barnsley in League One. Boston Lowell makes it 1 apiece. Failed to win their last 2, the Cod Army, under Charlie Adam after a mini revival.
Well, Barnsley not bad away from home, Dance. They lost one of the last 18 away in the league.
Starting the game 4th in the table, Barnsley. Not far from the automatic Premier League, automatic Championship promotion spot, should I say. 0-0 here. 12 minutes to half-time on Talksport 2. Here's Pape Sarr down the right wing underneath our commentary position, and then Kulusevski tried to turn Totti, who didn't need any treatment from the physios, and he managed to protect the ball so it went out of play for a Wolves throw in their left-back position, level with the edge of their own penalty area. Totti trying to steal a couple of yards down this near touchline, does that, puts it back in play, but it's won back by Spurs and Pape Sarr. Davis, bit of a loose pass just over the halfway line, and Semedo steps in strongly to win it back for Wolves, and then back it goes to Jose Sarr. Celtic lead in the Scottish Premiership against Kilmarnock. Kyogo Furuhashi. Remember, they're level on points with Rangers after Rangers won in midweek. Rangers play tomorrow at St Johnstone, but Celtic won, Kilmarnock 0.
Yeah, just Ben Davis a little bit.
Ben Davis having a talking to here for what for?
Just a little bit late on Pablo Sarabia out in that right back position. They worked it really well out from the back. Balls from Max Kilman, just rolls it into Sarabia, who's in the right back position, and Ben Davis just has what in the old days would be called a little reducer. So he just leaves his left knee onto Srabia's left knee. Anthony Taylor tried to play an advantage, but Wolves end up giving the ball away. Quite rightly, Anthony Taylor then pulled the play back to give the foul.
Just having a look at my little scorecard. It's really a good day for all the away teams so far. When you look down the Premier League and the Championship, Arsenal and Villa winning away, Sunderland, Hull, Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday, Cardiff and Blackburn all winning away in the Championship so far. But it's 0-0 here as we come up to the 35-minute mark on Talksport 2. Wolves get played back underway inside their own penalty area with Totti. Chips the ball up to halfway. Hwang should get there first. Chests it down neatly into the path of Ait Nouri, who goes over the thigh of Christian Romero, who's a bit of a walking yellow card, but he's not had one brandished to him by Anthony Taylor there. Wolves have a free kick just over halfway, and they've taken it quickly and rolled it back to Totti on halfway. Goes further back to Craig Dawson. Kilman lets the ball run across his body, slides it out to that far touchline, kept in play by Semedo. Tried to turn it in field, but Spurs will have it back. Van der Ven can carry the ball to the midway point of the half. Oh, what a ball into the area for Maddison. Pulls it back and turned wide. Big chance for Spurs to take the lead and it was Dejan Kulusevski who tried to guide it in. Lovely through ball from Van der Ven to get Maddison away, left-hand side of the box. The pullback was really neat for Dejan Kulusevski, but the Swede steered his ball wide of the post. Goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, that's Maddison's avenue. That's exactly where he wants to be. It's great ball in from Mickey Van der Ven into James Maddison. He can't quite get the right pass. He said he's looking for Kulusevski. Comes behind Kulusevski. He ends up falling over the ball, going out for a goal kick.
We heard that. 0-0 on Talksport 2. Ipswich back in front at Swansea 2-1. Connor Chaplin back in the starting lineup. Didn't play when I saw Ipswich win 4-0 at Millwall on Wednesday. Back in the side and back amongst the goals. Bromley 0, Chesterfield 1. The runaway National League leaders in front through Will Grigg. He's on fire. Middlesbrough 2-0 up at Leicester now. Goodness me. Sam Silvera with a second for Borough, and Portsmouth lead Reading by a goal to 0. The League One leaders in front through Paddy Lane. That is his 11th goal of the season. Spurs win a free kick. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2. They want to take it quickly, but Kulusevski struck the ball in field from completely the wrong place. And Bissouma will now take it from where Anthony Taylor says it should be. Maddison, midway point of the Wolves half, out to the left wing. 8 minutes to half time. 0-0. Son decides not to take on Semedo, but rolls it back instead for Sarr. A little bit further back for Van der Ven ahead of the centre circle. Now it's passed out by the right hand side for Emerson Royal to Kulusevski, right hand corner of the box, left footed cross into the box, and it will break for Wolves. And they've got players forward, but a foul.
To be fair, it was really good defending by Anthony Taylor.
Why didn't he allow play to go on? Because Wolves had an advantage there.
He's hit him straight in the head. It come off of Anthony Taylor. It was good defending, actually. He's protecting Wolves' back three of Kilman, Dawson and Totti. Just making sure.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that. And it was a brilliant cushion header to launch a Wolves counter-attack by Anthony Taylor. He tried to duck out the way as well, in fairness to him. So it'll be an uncontested drop ball, which I'm sure Anthony Taylor's going to say to... Is he going to say to Wolves, give it back to Spurs?
Yeah, because they were in possession.
Yeah. So Neto will have the ball presented back to him. Bissouma, oh no, it's Bissouma who's given the drop ball. And Wolves will not be happy with this, because Royale whips the ball in straight into the arms, though, of Jose Sarr. And it's back to normal. 7 minutes to half time. On Talksport 2, Ian Danter and Perry Gross with you. And we've got more live football to come over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, here on Talksport 2 in the Women's Super League, Brighton against Liverpool at noon. Joe Shannon and Jenna Scilacci, former Tottenham women's defender, will be your commentary team for that game. And then Monday night game night, Everton against Crystal Palace on Talksport, our exclusive Monday night game with Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy at Goodison Park. And don't forget the Carabao Cup final a week tomorrow, Chelsea against Liverpool, 3 o'clock kickoff live on Talksport. Sam and Stuart Pearce will be with Adrian at Wembley Stadium for the first domestic silverware of the season to be decided between Liverpool and Chelsea. Liverpool comfortable winners against Brentford live on Talksport at lunchtime as Crawley take the lead against Forest Green in League 2. Danilo Orsi gets his 14th of the season against Forest Green, who got their first league win since October in midweek. Ball's back with Van der Ven. What have you spotted, Perry?
Well, just looking at Spurs now when in possession, obviously they push Emerson Royal into midfield and Ben Davies on the left-hand side. When they're in possession, they've asked Kulusevski to come wide on this right-hand side and Son Heung-min to go wide on the left-hand side. But the problem that Spurs are having, Dance, is obviously they want James Maddison, he's their playmaker. They want to get him onto the ball, but because it's so congested and everybody's coming in field, there's no space for him at all. And to be fair to Wolves, we said about their three midfield players, especially Mina and João Gomez, they're completely nullifying James Maddison at the moment because they're just shutting off those corridors that Spurs are trying to play through.
Norwich equalise at home to Cardiff in the Championship. Josh Sargent back fit again and back scoring goals in recent months for the Canaries. Arsenal 2-0 up at Burnley. Bukayo Saka with a penalty. Preston get a goal back against Blackburn. Preston 1, Blackburn 2. Robbie Brady and Colchester lead Accrington by a goal to 0. Offside. Here's Nelson Semedo down the right hand side for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Still 0-0. 5 minutes to half time, and there'll be a fair old chunk of added time as well for the injuries we've had in this first half. Neto brings the ball down left-hand corner of the area for Wolves, guides it back 5 yards or so for Totti Gomez, and then Ait Nouri loses out, but it's slid back out to Neto on the left wing. Little step over, drives for the byline, gets away from Royale, and has he won a corner? Looks like a corner to me, and indeed it is. The assistant on the far side in the northeast corner couldn't spot it, but Anthony Taylor could. Corner kick to Wolves, 0-0.
He did really well there, Pedro Neto, because he wants to go out on the outside of Emerson Royale, and Totti was actually in his way. He came on the underlap, so Neto had to skip past him and try and get his cross in. Emerson Royale just got his sliding tackle. Corner for Wolves on their left-hand side.
Taken short, Neto will roll it to Ait Nouri in the centre of the half. Rolls his foot on the ball, delivers the cross in, and it's touched behind by Richarlison. Nobody made a run in a Red Bull shirt. Everybody in Spurs white was running back towards the goal, and Richarlison didn't get a shout. Another corner to Wolves, 0-0.
That's a brilliant ball from Ait Nouri in the right-hand corner of the 18-yard box. He just fed it into that corridor of uncertainty. He said there it should be Totti making a run, getting on the end of it. Corner for Wolves again over on their right-hand side.
Sarabia to take it, whips it into the 6-yard line. João Gomez! 1-0! João Gomez got him highest, and Wolves lead late in the first half. João Gomez with a firm header. Vicario just stood on his goal line and watched the ball sail past him. Delight in that northeast corner, and Spurs fall behind to the side that beat them earlier in the season. 3 minutes to the break. It's Spurs 0, Wolves 1.
Danter, you can't say that goal hasn't been coming. It's a really good ball in from Sarabia over on Wolves' right-hand side, in swing with his left foot. And João Gomez is completely unmarked, Danter, from 8 yards out. There's not one Spurs player within 3 yards of him. Just redirects his header, lets it come off his forehead, nestles in Vicario's top right-hand corner, gives him absolutely no chance whatsoever. I'm just looking at defender Son Heung-min is actually ducked. He's actually ducked away from the ball. He should be the one going to attack it. Max Kilman's done brilliantly because he had a bit of a block. You can't have a player have a free header from 6 yards. It's brilliant play from Wolves, really bad play from Tottenham Hotspur. Son Heung-min especially, he's got to go and attack the ball. And you can't say, Dancer, this goal hasn't been coming, because Wolves have been very, very good in possession. Just the final ball to let them down in the final third. But this time, quality delivery from Sarabia and a brilliant header from João Gomez to put Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-0 up here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Spurs.
First goal of the season for João Gomez, who scored on his debut against Southampton late last season after joining from Flamengo. So Spurs behind, live on Talksport 2, as they were against Brighton and Hove Albion. Came from behind 7 days ago when Perry and I were here for that. What can they do about this scoreline? This goal's flying in elsewhere as well. Salford 1, Barrow 1, Bolton 1, Charlton 2, Bristol City 0, QPR 1, Leyton Orient 1, Burton Albion 0, Northampton 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2, and Peterborough 1, Blackpool 0. That's a dress rehearsal for Tuesday's semi-final in the Football League Trophy. We'll be there on Talksport 2 at Bloomfield Road. Spurs have possession with Son, trying to slide it down the left-hand side of the box for James Maddison. But it's 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. If you're just tuning in to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2, Sarabia's corner, firm planted header by João Gomez, and those Wolves fans wearing the old gold and black in the northeast corner making plenty of noise opposite our commentary position. And I wonder if it stays like this when the half-time whistle goes. You mentioned it, Perry Gross, when we were here. Brighton were 1-0 up at half-time, but the response from the Spurs fans was not negative. Will it be the same today?
Well, you'd like to think so, because there's a time, obviously, that Spurs need their fans, and this is a time they need them behind them, because Wolves have been, again, the better side in this first half, much the same as Brighton were last week, yep. Dan. So I think Ange Postecoglou, he'll get the furnace out again. He's not going to be very happy because Spurs have been a little bit sloppy in possession. Wolves have won all the little 50-50s, all the knockdowns, all their individual battles. Lamina and Gomez have dominated the midfield area.
4 minutes that we're into of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half, as Norwich have turned it around at Carrow Road. Gabriel Sara making it Norwich 2, Cardiff 1. Wolves 1-0 up and in possession with Sarabia, but back comes Maddison to win it back off him. But a poor clearance, and Ben Davies trying to find Son on the far side. Great industry from Son Heung-min to dart out to that far touchline and keep the ball in play. Ball's back with Bissouma, up to the halfway line. Emerson Royale gets dispossessed, stays on his back as Wolves come forward. Pedro Neto, he's got Totti on the overlap down the left-hand side. The ball bobbles through to Totti. Chops inside his man brilliantly. Still going, another chop inside from Totti. Lays it off to the left-hand corner of the box. And Ait-Nouri back to Craig Dawson. Dawson lifts the ball into the box and volleyed. Brilliant save! What a save, Vicario, to deny Sarabia. The flag was up anyway, but my word, Vicario was not to know that. What a fantastic stop. It ends up being a free kick to Wolves, but a brilliant save from Vicario.
Good play again from Wolves. Great ball from Craig Dawson. Sarabia just finds himself completely unmarked, gets his left foot volley with his instep. Brilliant save from Vicario down to his right hand side. Very sharp. And he was just offside. You shouldn't be offside, Dance, when you look across the line. Again, it's Wolves just looking a lot more potent, a lot more threatening in the final third, because if we're going into half time, we've got 4 minutes to go. I can't remember
2 of those minutes.
Can't remember Jose Sarr having a save to make in the Wolverhampton Wanderers goal.
Lemina's gone down again, but the referee says play on, please. Spurs have the ball back on halfway with Romero. Now Sarabia's gone down. Maddison out to Son, left-hand corner of the penalty area, faced up by Semedo. It's across the face of goal. Can Maddison turn it in? No, he can't. It's gone out for a corner. Wolves player got the final touch. Spurs trying to finish the first half with a flourish to get themselves level. Corner kick at the south stand end.
Brilliant defending from Craig Dawson again at the near post. Just Ben Davies going on the overlap, just rolling ball across the 6-yard box. Maddison gets himself across the near post, thinks he'll get a flick with the outside of his right foot. Craig Dawson gets high five from his fellow defenders because it's staunch defending at that near post. Another corner for Spurs over on their left-hand side.
To be taken by Maddison, whips into the near post, but hits the first defender, Maximilian Kilman, and drops into the centre of the Wolves half. Loose header from Bissouma, and Wolves try and bring the ball clear. Pedro Neto has the beating of Kulusevski. Lovely ball in field. Oh, what an interception right at the last second by Emerson Royale, because there were 2 Wolves players bursting beyond him if he'd not got a toe in to stop that crossfield pass. But Wolves have it again with Neto. Left wing swirls the ball into the box. Headed out by Ben Davies, but Ait-Nouri picks up the loose ball. Sarabia wants it, right-hand side of the box, tries to curl it goalwards, and it's only just wide. It's a goal kick to Tottenham Hotspur. 3 minutes gone of added time, 1-0 Wolves lead. It could have been 2.
Dance, Wolves can sniff blood here because it comes out to Sarabia again on the right-hand side of the 18-yard box, and he's picked the wrong pass again, because if he just chips it to the far post, Pedro Neto is completely unmarked. He's tried to bend it inside Vicario's top right-hand corner, just puts too much on it. Gary O'Neill will be delighted if this finishes, obviously Wolves going in 1-0 up at half-time, but I think there'll be a little bit of disappointment, Dance, because he'll know that his team has been the better side in the first half, and with a little bit more care in the final third, it could have been even more than 1-0.
Ticking round towards the end of that minimum 4 minutes on Talksport 2. 1-0 to Wolves. Spurs in possession just over the halfway line. Now it's worked back to Bissouma in the centre circle. Anthony Taylor looks at his watch. We've played the 4 minutes. One last chance maybe in this half for Spurs. Maddison inside right. Slides it into Royale. Across the face of goal, but Sarr claims it. And there goes the half-time whistle. And once again, Tottenham Hotspur will have to battle from behind to get all 3 points and make it 6 Premier League home wins in a row. Wolverhampton Wanderers go in with the advantage given to them by João Gomez, his first of the season, from Sarabia's corner. Found a free header for Gomez 6 yards out, planted past Vicario. They had chances to take the lead earlier as well, Wolves, notably through Hwang Hee-chan, who sent a rebound shot over the bar after a shot from Semedo was pushed out by the goalkeeper Vicario. At the other end, Spurs have huffed and puffed and created 1 or 2 chances, but as Perry said, Jose Sarr hasn't really had a major save to make in these first 45 minutes, and so work to do to keep the Spurs fans happy. But as with last week, John Jackson, the atmosphere at half-time is not one of negativity, it's just one of hope. At half-time, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1.
Yeah, well, listening to the first chance there going to Hwang, it felt, Perry Groves, like as soon as Wolves could unlock that final pass, then Tottenham, if they didn't pull their fingers out a little bit, were going to go behind. It maybe took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take. But, give a player too much space there when the team's on top. And, they did get unlocked, and Wolves got that first goal.
Yeah, very much so, especially when you're defending corners. You've got to make sure if you go zone across the 6-yard box, which Spurs do, that you attack the ball when it comes into your area. It's a brilliant in-swinging corner with his left foot from Sarabia from the right-hand side. And Gomez is completely unmarked on the 6-yard box. Son Heung-min actually sort of ducks away from it. Kilman does great because he sort of half blocks him. Free header, goes high to the right of Vicario. Obviously Wolves go in 1-0 up at half time, and I think, as I said, Gary will be delighted with the performance from his Wolves side, but there might be a tinge, John, of disappointment, because Wolves have been the better side. They've had the better chances. Tactically, it's been a masterclass from Gary O'Neill, because when Wolves are out of position, they go into 5-3-2. He leaves Neto and Hwang Hee-Chang up front, so there's always a 2v2 situation. And there's been loads of times when Wolves got in the wide areas, they've just picked the wrong pass. They've had 2v2 situations, 3v2s. And just look at the stats, John. Obviously, Spurs have dominated possession, but they haven't had a shot on target. Jose Sarr hasn't had a real save to make. He's had a few corners he had to deal with, which has been whipped on top of him. But apart from that, Spurs haven't created anything in free play.
Yeah, and that's going to be something they want to focus on in the second half. Do you feel James Maddison needs to get into the game a little bit more?
Yeah, I thought it's all congested. As I said, Wolves' formation is very, very good. They're very, very compact. Sarabia's going back to make it a sort of a midfield three. And what's happening as well with Spurs, Postecoglou likes Ben Davies, obviously the left full back, and Emerson the right foot back, to come and sort of make that overload in midfield. But basically, it's just cramping everything up. So I think sometimes you have to say, right, stay wide. He's asked Kulusevski and Son Heung-min halfway through the first half, go in those wide areas, but then you've still got Ben Davies and Emerson come in inverted, and that is sort of going into James Maddison's space. So maybe he might give him a bit more licence to wander a little bit. Wolves have been brilliant in the 50-50s and all the 1v1s, and I just got to say, just a little doff of the cap to Anthony Taylor, the referee, because he's let this game flow completely. He's been brilliantly refereed, and he even got back and protected Kilman, Dawson and Totti like he's got a brilliant defensive header away when Wolves are under pressure. So he's got loads of different caps on at the moment, but he's refereed this game absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. I know you likened it to an NBA game. Do you think it's going to be as end-to-end in the second half, or do you think there'll be a few conversations going on there and things will be adjusted? Obviously, Tottenham are going to have to work out a way to get into this game a bit more. Equally, Gary O'Neill's going to be wanting his players to find that final pass and hopefully, increase their lead.
Yeah, but he'll just want the concentration levels, because he'll say his team has been the better team in the first half. I think he knows that his team's going to come under pressure, but you can tell they've worked all week on that 5-3-2 formation, where it's very compact, because he knows the way that Spurs want to play. I'm just looking in from Spurs' point of view. You've got Brennan Johnson, who came on, obviously scored the winning goal last week. Maybe Bentancur might give you that little bit of creativity, because I think we've used Bissouma and Pape Sarr in, the two holding midfield players. They're both very athletic, but there's not a lot of creativity there. You can't find that pass, that quick pass to get it into James Maddison. So after about 5-10 minutes, you might see Ange Postecoglou making a few chances, but Gary O'Neill's point of view, it will be much the same in the second half, and it will just that little bit of concentration in the final third if they can pick that right pass.
Well, Perry, thanks very much for the moment there. It's half-time here at the City Ground as well. Taiwo Awoniyi putting Nottingham Forest ahead just before the break. Forest, the better side all over West Ham in the first half, but looking great going forwards and perhaps looking a little bit shaky as they go back. A little bit of a problem that Forest have to deal with this season and work on. Some work for Nuno there. I'll bring you more scores in just a second, but first let's look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Man City versus Chelsea live today, contract free with a Now membership. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
And the big game tonight is at the Etihad. Manchester City take on Chelsea in a 5:30 kickoff. John Dunn joins me now to look ahead to this game. John, there was the same fixture between the women's sides last night, and it's a big day for Cole Palmer. That's the standout thing for me, returning to the Etihad for the first time.
Yeah, definitely, and just for the fans watching in, hoping for a lucky one. Manchester City won the women's game last night, and they'll be hoping to keep that run going for the men's team today. But yeah, Cole Palmer, strange really when he made that move to Chelsea during the summer. You thought the opportunities were going to open up with Riyad Mahrez moving on, but Pep Guardiola this week held his hands up. It was his decision. He wasn't giving Palmer the minutes. He wanted to try something else. Palmer moving to Chelsea, and since he's done that, broke into the England side. He's got 10 goals in the Premier League, 12 in all competitions, and he very coolly, if you remember, scored a late penalty in a thrilling 4-4 draw back in November at Stamford Bridge when these two sides met.
I was going to say, these two sides meeting, you can see why everyone's calling this the game of the day. Fans of other teams are going to feel a little bit aggrieved there, but you can see why after that first meeting. And it feels like you're never sure what you're going to get with Chelsea. We've seen performances that we've been, astounded by, and you wonder, what they're playing at. They don't seem to have things together, and they're playing sides they should be getting a result against, and they're getting thrashed. And then sometimes they can really take it to teams and up their game. So for me, I don't know what you think, John, it feels like if we have the Chelsea that are on their day and putting in a good performance, it could be another thriller tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think that game at Villa Park, the 3-1 win in the Cup, that's almost a barometer now for Chelsea and their supporters. That clearly their best performance of the season, a stunning victory, still in the FA Cup. But then at the game on Monday against Crystal Palace, the first half seemed a bit pedestrian, didn't really create any problems. Second half maybe summed up Chelsea's season. Poor first half, really good in the second half, got that late win, won it 3-1. They haven't travelled particularly well when they've come to the Etihad Stadium, beaten in their last 4 games and haven't scored on their last 4 visits. They've also gone 7 games now, home or away, without a win against Manchester City. City so good at home, 22 games unbeaten now here at the Etihad Stadium. So they obviously come into this one as favourites, but Pep, pointing out the Chelsea squad, the Chelsea manager, this is going to be a very tough game for them, in his opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for Manchester City as well. No Jack Grealish, he's got a muscle injury, and also Bernardo Silva, a doubt. Thank you very much, John. Live updates and regular updates over on Talksport. That's a 5:30pm kickoff. That was a look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League action. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all of the Sky Sports action like Manchester City versus Chelsea live today, contract free with a Now membership. Just search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Man City versus Chelsea live today, contract free with a Now membership. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. Second half action of Spurs versus Wolves coming up next, and we'll also bring you the halftime scores from across the Premier League and the EFL.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the EFL. Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Playing host for the big game? Feed the squad with a meal deal exclusively on Just Eat. Save over 45% on KFC's Finger Kicking Double Bucket and 25% or more on matchday meal deals from Burger King, Pizza Hut Delivery, German Doner Kebab, Greg's, and more. It's the easiest win of the season.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Participating stores in selected locations subject to availability. Saving compared to individual items. Delivery fees and other charges may apply. End 17th of March. See justeat.co.uk for details.
With the January transfer window now firmly shut, find out who's paying off and who's a flop with the ultimate football coverage from the Sun's free pull-out Goals! With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals! And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League 2, it has to be goals! Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday in the Sun.
Don't break your stride shopping around. The Screwfix low price guarantee means we price check so you don't have to. Found something cheaper? No problem. Head into any Screwfix store and we'll refund the difference. Look out for the low price guarantee badge on hundreds of trade essentials. And don't let shopping around slow you down. Screwfix, the choice of champions. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See screwfix.com for full details.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
McNuggets.
Chicken selects.
Hang on. Whether you're a McNuggets connoisseur or a Chicken Selects mega fan, come together with the McDonald's chicken combo for just $16.99. With 20 chicken McNuggets, 10 chicken selects, and 8 dips, there's something for every chicken lover. Available 10th of Jan until 28th of May on delivery options at participating restaurants only. Fees apply from 11 a.m. Price may vary, subject to availability.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Man City versus Chelsea live today, contract free with a Now membership. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, screen via internet, terms apply.
It's time to travel through the Stargate to the live football universe. Game day.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app, and on your smart speaker.
Game day exclusive.
On Talksport 2.
This is Game Day. Halftime classifieds.
Yeah, game day exclusive here on Talksport 2. I'm John Jackson. Let's take a classified check on the halftime scores, starting with
Premier League.
The early result, Brentford 1, Liverpool 4. Burnley are currently 2-0 down at home to Arsenal at half-time. Fulham 1-0 down at home to Aston Villa at half-time. It's goalless at St James's Park. Newcastle United 0, Bournemouth 0. Here at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest are 1-0 up against West Ham. And in our commentary game here on Talksport 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. The late game, Manchester City versus Chelsea. That's a 5:30 kickoff.
Sky Bet Championship.
Early result here on Talksport 2, Plymouth Argyle 0, Leeds United 2. All of these half-time, Birmingham City 0, Sunderland 1. Bristol City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 1. Leicester City, the leaders in the Championship 0, Middlesbrough 2. Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. It's Norwich City 2, Cardiff City 1. Blackburn Rovers were 2-0 up away at Preston North End, but at half-time it's Preston 2, Blackburn 2. It's goalless between Rotherham United and Watford, also goalless between Stoke City and Coventry City, and Swansea City are 2-1 down at home to Ipswich Town.
Sky Bet League 1.
At half-time, it's Bolton Wanderers 1, Charlton Athletic 2, Carlisle United 0, Cambridge United 1, 1-1 between Cheltenham Town and Port Vale, goalless between Derby County and Stevenage, it's 1-1 between Fleetwood Town and Barnsley, Leyton Orient are 1-0 up at home to Burton Albion, Lincoln City 0, Exeter City 0, Northampton Town 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Peterborough United 1, Blackpool 0, Portsmouth 1, Reading 0, goalless between Shrewsbury Town and Wigan Athletic, and also goalless between Wycombe Wanderers and Oxford United. Well, we have second half commentary coming up here on Talksport 2. A big half for Tottenham Hotspur, 1-0 down at home to Wolves going into this second half. And Perry, do you think they need Brennan Johnson? I feel like Brennan Johnson's the kind of player that can maybe add some spice to this for Spurs.
Yeah, you might see a change after, said, about 10 minutes into the second half. Brennan Johnson could come on the left-hand side, Richarlison off, maybe put Son up front, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think they need a bit more creativity from a deeper area, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see Bentancur come on, maybe Bissouma or Pape Sarr. So it was an average first half for Spurs, but it was a very good first half Wolverhampton Wanderers, and the game has been a brilliant spectacle because Wolves have actually been a little bit more adventurous than I thought they would be.
Well, look, this second half, if it's anywhere near as exciting as the first half, it's going to be a good conclusion to this game. Tottenham 0, Wolves 1 as the second half begins, alongside former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. Here on Talksport 2, it's Ian Danter.
And Wolves will get us back underway at the start of the second half in their change strip of all red. Attacking the south stand to our right, Spurs in their all white shirt, short socks, heading for the north stand in the second period. No changes at the break. I'll run you through the lineups in just a moment. Dejan Kulusevski making a dart for the dead ball line. He's won a throw deep in Wolves territory. Arsenal had just gone 3-0 up at Burnley early in the second half through Bukayo Saka. and Accrington Stanley down to 10 men. The Spurs get the ball into the area, and my word, how on earth did Dejan Kulusevski squeeze that in from a tight angle inside a minute of the restart? Spurs are level. The perfect riposte from Dejan Kulusevski, a quickly taken throw. He ran along the dead ball line and with the outside of his right boot fed the ball underneath Jose Sarr to bring Spurs level. Tottenham 1, Wolves 1.
Dance, Wolverhampton Wanderers have completely gone to sleep. Just a throw in from that right hand side from Emerson Royale. Craig Dawson's got to do so much better, Dance, because he's the big tough centre half. As it comes into Richarlison, he just lays it off. Lamina comes in, gets an interception. Then it comes to Kulusevski. Then as he gets to the byline, that is what you call eye of a needle stuff, Dance, because what he's done with his left foot, he's toe poked it through Jose Sarr's legs, and he's actually meant it, Dance. He's meant to toe poke it through his legs. He just got his head up. Craig Dawson, terrible defending, misses it completely. Wolves have gone to sleep. Tottenham Hotspur get themselves back in this game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1.
6th goal of the season for Dejan Kulusevski, and Spurs have it again. It's laid up by Richarlison. Kulusevski very nearly in. Back to Richarlison. Now Maddison, 15 yards out, shoots it straight against Lamina. And Wolves hurry it clear, and an offside flag's gone up against a Spurs player anyway. So let me run you through the lineups that I was going to before Kulusevski equalised. Vicario in goal, Royale, Romero, Van de Ven, Davis, Sarr, Bissouma, Kulusevski, Maddison, Son and Richarlison. For Wolves, Sarr in goal, Kilman, Dawson, Totti, Semedo, Lamina, Gomez and Aït-Nouri, Neto, Sarabia and Hwang. Goal kick smacked downfield, right-footed by Jose Sarr.
Dance, I'm just looking around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I would say 40% of the Spurs fans haven't seen that goal because they're not in their seats getting ready for this second half. It's taken everybody by surprise, not least the Wolverhampton Wanderers back five.
Now here's Son, left-hand side, attacking the north stand. Ben Davis on the underlap, tries to whip it around, and it's put behind for a corner kick to Spurs. Kilman with the final touch. Spurs have gone off like a train at the start of the second half. 1-1.
We can hear the roar from the Spurs fans just as James Maddison comes over to take the corner on Spurs' left-hand side, in swinging with his right foot.
At the northwest corner, in it comes from Maddison. Sarr stays at home, Richarlison heads over. Thought about coming out to punch there, Jose Sarr. Went back towards his goal line, but the ball came off the top of Richarlison's head and behind for a Wolves goal kick.
Yeah, good delivery from James Maddison. And actually, Richarlison's just taken it off of Romero's head, because if he ducks underneath it, Romero has a free header from about 5 yards. Spurs have come out of the blocks very, very sharp in this second half. Exactly the same Dance as last week against Brighton, wasn't it? So you can bet your life. I mean, Postecoglou's got quite a calm demeanour when he's in his technical area, but I'd love to be a fly on the wall at half-time, you know, when he's getting into his Spurs players, because they've come out here absolutely rampant in this second half.
Well, it's taken them a much shorter space of time to get themselves level today than they did. It was 61 minutes when Pape Sarr equalised here last week against Brighton. Walsall 1, Mansfield 0 in League 2. Mansfield 3 straight wins, including that 9-2 against Harrogate in the week, but they're behind to Jamil Matt's opener for the Saddlers. And Salford 1, Barrow 2, also in League 2. Barrow back-to-back defeats, starting the day in 5th, but they lead through Tyrrell Warren at the Peninsula. Free kick to Spurs just over the halfway line, and it's Van de Ven who will work it back to Christian Romero. So all square on Talksport 2, and we've not played 5 minutes of the second half quite yet. Out to the right-hand side, and Spurs goal scorer Kulusevski plays a little 1-2 with Emerson Royale, works it back 15 yards or so to Romero. Van de Ven just by the centre circle, firm pass out to Son Heung-min on this left-hand side. Davis again is up there with him, goes on the overlap this time but hasn't been used. Goes infield to Bissouma. Now Son's made a run down the left-hand side of the box. It was meant for him, but Ben Davies actually intercepted it and didn't realise that the pass wasn't intended for him. And Wolves can clear their lines. 1-1.
Yeah, it was Ben Davies going into that inside left position. Who said there it was a great run from Son Heung-min from outside to in. Bissouma just trying to roll it into him. Ben Davies just getting himself in the way. Spurs dominate possession of this 5 minutes into the second half. Just moving the ball, Dancer, a little bit quicker, just that little bit sharper in possession.
Premier League goal going in at the St James's Park venue. Newcastle 0, Bournemouth 1. Dominic Solanke, 14 for the season for him, as they lead on Tyneside. Here's Spurs at 1-1, coming forward with Son Heung-min. Lays it off to Davis at the edge of the area, tried to play a left-footed ball to the far post, but it was too close to Jose Sarr. Elsewhere, Portsmouth have doubled their lead against Reading in League One. Marlon Pack for the leaders. And back in the Championship, Coventry have taken the lead at Stoke. Ellis Sims, 1 defeat in 16 matches for Coventry City.
Danton waiting name stat of the day.
Oh, I'm loving the name stat.
Stoke City, no wins last 15 home league matches against fellow teams called City.
Well, that is an inane stat.
Drawn 8, lost 7. The last win was against Swansea City,
right.
February 2022.
Okay. That's good research.
You was complaining about I didn't have a name stats.
You've certainly found one there. 1-1. And 1-1 at the Bescot as well. Walsall 1, Mansfield 1. Stephen Quinn equalises for the Stags.
Mansfield has scored in the last 21 away games, going back to March 2022.
Make it 22 then.
That's it, I'm done.
Okay, ta-ra. Spurs 1, Wolves 1. Talksport 2, your home of live football every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock from the Premier League. And Spurs have won a free kick midway point of the Wolves half as Pape Sarr was brought down. In fact, Emerson Royal was brought down, so Maddison thought about taking a quick free kick. I'm not sure whether he fancies having a crack at goal from this far out, by the way. Incidentally, Tranmere have gone 2-0 up on the League 2 leader Stockport. Jordan Turnbull. And elsewhere in League 2, AFC Wimbledon lead Morecambe by a goal to 0, Omar Bugil. So Maddison over this free kick. There's a 2-man Wolves wall right in the centre of the D. Maddison goes left to Son, who's unmarked. Now he's faced up by Semedo. Tricks his way towards the area, left-hand side, whips it into the near post, and it's claimed at his near post by Jose Sarr. 1-1.
Yeah, James Maddison just trying to change the angle, a little bit too central, brings it out to Son on this left-hand side. He does about 4 Michael Flatley footovers, just goes on the outside of Nelson Semedo, tries to whip it into the near post, just couldn't get enough bend on it, goes straight into Jose Sarr's arms.
Poor pass from Kilman, straight out of play when he was hoping to find Semedo on this near side. Spurs attacking the north stand to our left in this second half as we sit high up in the west stand at this magnificent stadium. And they've worked it back to halfway and Van de Ven. Bissouma just to his left. Plays it out to the left wing, the near side to us and Son. Davis flicks it back to Bissouma. Bolton 2, Charlton 2. Charlton were in front for a time, but Paris McComas just equalised for Bolton. And Grimsby 1, Doncaster 3 at Blundell Park in League 2. Here's Emerson Royal in that inverted fullback role. Out to the inside right channel for Pape Sarr. Kulusevski level with the edge of the area. Gives it back to Sarr. Taking the game down to a slower pace. And then he works it back to Christian Romero. Davis, who also is playing quite inverted at the moment, as you would expect from the first choice fullbacks Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie, neither of whom are available to Postecoglou today. Bissouma now picking it up on halfway.
Just had a situation there where you got the 2 Spurs fullbacks who come so inverted they were only like 5 yards apart from each other in the centre of the pitch.
Maddison tries to play the ball into Real, who made a strong run through the inside right channel, but the ball ricocheted off his boot and went behind for a goal kick. You're listening to Tottenham 1, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Manchester City against Chelsea, live today, contract free with a Now membership. Just search Now Sports. Peterborough 1, Blackpool 1. Shane Lavery equalises for Blackpool at London Road. They meet on Tuesday night at Bloomfield Road in the semi-final of the Football League Trophy. That's our live commentary for you on Talksport 2 this Tuesday night. There's also Premier League commentaries on Talksport Tuesday and Wednesday night this week. Liverpool Luton not on the telly, but it is with us on Tuesday 7:30. That's Wednesday, 7:30, and Tuesday again not on the telly, but with us, Manchester City against Brentford. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you, with 10 minutes gone in the second half. It only took Spurs less than a minute to get themselves back level, having been 1-0 down at half time. But here come Wolves with Nelson Semedo. Early ball into the box. Sarabia in front of goal, straight to the goalkeeper who kept it out, and then Van der Ven diverted it behind for a corner kick. Another massive chance for Wolves. Brilliant ball across the face of goal from Nelson Semedo, and Sarabia looked to have done everything right, but Vicario was equal to it. 1-1.
Fantastic counter-attack from Wolves. Brilliant ball from Craig Dawson, centrally out to this right-hand side to Nelson Semedo. He picks the right pass.
Short corner, Neto takes it to the far post, and Richarlison couldn't get the header in, but it came off the thigh of Maximilian Kilman and behind for a goal kick. 1-1. Carry on, Perry.
But just saying with Sarabia, he's got to score, Dance. It's a perfect ball. It's on a plate. He's got a knife and fork with it. And then as it comes to him, he lets it roll across his body with his left foot. No courage in your convictions there, Dance. All he's done is just made sure he's got the shot on target. He should be picking the bottom right-hand corner of Vicario's goal, and in the end, he's hit it straight at him. Gilt-edged chance for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've got to be more clinical.
As bigger chances they had in the first half when Hwang skied a rebound over the bar. 1-1 it stays. Barnsley lead at Fleetwood 2-1. Herbie Kane. Here comes Spurs with Christian Romero down the right-hand side of the box, trying to find Maddison, but Totti got there first. But in bringing the ball out of the penalty area, he presented the ball to Kulusevski, but then Ait Nouri showed great strength to win it back. Oh, lovely little work in field from Pedro Neto. Hwang out to the left-hand side of Ait Nouri. Neto's gone again through the middle. I think he would have been offside had he been able to latch onto that through ball, but Vicario can claim. Rotherham 0, Watford 1. Yasser Asprilla back in the side today for the Hornets, and he scored at the New York Stadium against the bottom side in the Championship. And elsewhere, Shrewsbury 0, Wigan 1. Matt Smith puts the Latics in front at the Greenhouse Meadow. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 12 minutes gone in the second half. It's one apiece between Spurs and Wolves. Wolves ahead at the break, but Spurs level within a minute of the restart, and the ball's back with the Spurs keeper Vicario. Norwich go 3-1 up on Cardiff City. The second of the afternoon for the American Josh Sargent at Carrow Road. Here's Emerson Royal for Spurs, just inside his own half. It was worked up to Kulusevski, but now back into the Spurs half for Christian Romero. Can just trickle towards the halfway line with the ball at his feet. Newcastle equalise against Bournemouth 1-1. Anthony Gordon penalty at St James's Park. All square there, all square here. Van der Ven for Spurs, infield to Bissouma. There was a very long VAR check before that penalty could be awarded, apparently, for Newcastle to get that equaliser, but it is 1-1 on Tyneside. Here's Bissouma for Tottenham Hotspur at 1-1 here. Now James Maddison, right-hand corner of the box, gives it back to Bissouma. Romero needs an option. Out on that right-hand side is Emerson Royal, level with the edge of the area. Flicks the ball in field to Kulusevski. Little over from Richarlison, didn't work out for Spurs, and Wolves try and bring it clear, but Van der Ven was too cute to allow Hwang to run round him, and Spurs have it back with Son. Infield it goes to Bissouma, midway point of the half, into the feet of Maddison, tries to quicken play up. Kulusevski, what a save! What a save by Jose Sarr, plunging to his left. Kulusevski thought he was about to net his and Tottenham's second. Superb stop though, but it is a Spurs corner at 1-1.
Yeah, brilliant build-up play from Spurs. James Maddison getting himself a little bit more central. Just plays a little give and go with Kulusevski. He said there, it's his left foot. Brilliant save from Jose Sarr down low to his left-hand side.
Corner taken short. Kulusevski works it back to the last man, Emerson Royal, just ahead of the centre circle. Pape Sarr to his left has the ball at his feet now. Right the way across it goes to Bissouma. Wolves, in their all-red change trip, have once again got pretty much everybody behind the ball. Villa have gone 2-0 up at Fulham. Ollie Watkins at the double. Out to the left-hand side it goes, and Son Heung-min infield to Bissouma. Now Pape Sarr thinks about bringing the ball in field. swings the ball out to the right-hand side, brought down by Royale, lays it off to Kulusevski. 2 Wolves players guarding his way to goal. Goes back to Christian Romero. Now Maddison. What can he conjure up here? Clips the ball out to Emerson Royale. Lets the ball run across his body. Tried to get away from Neto but couldn't do so. Shifts in field. Gives it back to Romero. Maddison again to try and set play up. Lobs it down the right-hand side of the box looking for Royale. But Wolves get it clear. Up to halfway. Portsmouth 3. Reading 0. Callum Lang again. And Birmingham equalised against Sunderland in the Championship. Jordan James makes it 1-1.
Offside.
Newport 1, Gillingham 0. Will Evans with another for him in League 2. Here's Spurs with Richarlison back to goal. Trying to tee up Son at the edge of the area. Can't find his man. Wolves will get the ball clear. And it's out of play. Other goals going in. Tranmere 3. Stockport 0. The League 2 leaders being humbled. Jordan Turnbull gets another. And Salford have equalised against Barrow. That's now 2-2 at the Peninsula in League 2. Bradford 1, Sutton 0 as well in League 2. Son Heung-min for Spurs. Gets Davis in behind. Tries to whip a cross in and they prevent the corner, Wolves. It's gone out for a throw by the corner flag down to our left-hand side with Spurs attacking the north stand end in this second half. Just over an hour gone on Talksport 2. 1 apiece.
Yeah, Spurs just exerting that pressure now in the second half. Most of the play's been condensed in Wolves' half, and just James Maddison's becoming a little bit more influential. He's just floating across laterally,
Son's
coming
giving
deeper.
The ball away though. Pedro Neto couldn't make the most of it because, in fairness to Bissouma, he was straight on him to win the ball back. Now it's with Romero. Christian Romero finds Son, left-hand side, checks onto his right, floats the ball into the area, takes the touch off Davies. Kulusevski goes for goal and Semedo blocks it brilliantly. He was running in at full pelt, Dejan Kulusevski. It's gone behind for another Spurs corner, 1-1.
Yeah, it's a brilliant block from Nelson Semedo, who had to make himself big and strong. Did the long barrier. Kulusevski looked like he was going to bend it inside Jose Sar's bottom right-hand corner for Spurs on their left-hand side.
Pressure continues for the home side. Maddison again with the corner. Up go the heads. Drops on the 6-yard line. Out to the edge of the area. Bissouma loses out. Now there's another Wolves counter-attack on the go. Sprinting forward down this near side is Pedro Neto. He's far ahead of his other teammate. Gets to the byline. Chops back onto his left. Rolls it back. Brilliant goal. João Gomes. 2-1. Wolves counter-attack, absolute perfection, and Pedro Neto pulled it back, and João Gomes now has 2 goals this afternoon, and he kisses the left boot of Pedro Neto that set up that second Wolves goal. 63 minutes gone, and once again Spurs have it all to do at their own stadium. What a counter-attack, making it Spurs 1, Wolves 2.
Dance lightning does strike twice from João Gomes. It's a really good finish. He's run fully 60 yards to make sure he becomes a centre forward. It's a corner for Spurs on the left-hand side. Bissouma gets caught with the ball on the edge of his own box. Pedro Neto runs again fully 50-60 yards down this right-hand side. Can he have that composure? Emerson Royale comes out to engage him. It's a great little Cruyff turn. Gets his head up on the penalty spot. João Gomes is coming in with the instep of his right foot. Smashes it past Vicario. Gives him absolutely no chance. The perfect counter-attacking goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brilliant play from Pedro Neto. Even better from João Gomes. Wolverhampton Wanderers go 2-1 up here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And I would say Basuma's got to watch where João Gomes is running, because as that counter-attack was launched, there was not a Spurs player within 10 yards of João Gomes as he made that run from his own box to the edge of the Spurs box. And a brilliant finish on the half volley. Had to control it, but he fairly fizzed it past Vicario. And Wolves are back in front with just over 25 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Here's Son down the left-hand side. Surely now Ange Postecoglou will turn to his substitutes bench to make changes, and Brennan Johnson's going to be on sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, Romero finds Van der Ven. Out to the left-hand side, and James Maddison. Faced up by Semedo, rolls it back infield to Christian Romero. Now Emerson Royale feeds it out to Kulusevski on the right wing. Faced up by Ait Nouri. Checks in on his left. Lovely fizz cross, but it's headed away by Craig Dawson and further clear by Hwang. Arsenal 4-0 up at Burnley. Leandro Trossard. And Charlton back in front of Bolton. 3-2 to the Addicts. Remember, no win in 16 for Charlton. But they lead through Daniel Kanu. Here's Pedro Neto for Wolves. 2-1 in front, the Wolves, and Neto trying to outpace Van der Ven down this right-hand side, tries to put it through the legs of Van der Ven, but the defender was too cute, won that, and kept the ball in play too. And Son, under pressure from Lamina, facing his own dead ball line, only half clears it. Semedo works it in field, almost poked through to João Gomes on a hat-trick by Pablo Sarabia. And then it's with Pape Sarr inside his own penalty area. They're just trying to find room to get the ball clear here, Tottenham Hotspur. And in the end, Van der Ven gives the ball back to his keeper, who passes calmly out to Romero. Romero's pass out to the far touchline, kept in brilliantly by Kulusevski. And then Emerson Royal is brought down by João Gomes. Free kick to Tottenham just inside the Wolves half of the field, and a yellow card for João Gomes for that challenge. You're listening to Tottenham 1, Wolves 2 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Yeah, it's just João Gomes there being very cute. The Spurs looking to hit Wolves on the counter-attack. Emerson Royal breaking on that right-hand side. João Gomes just steps across him, fouls him on purpose, quite rightly. Anthony Taylor dishes out I think it's the first yellow card of the game.
I think it is. Here's Son Heung-min for Spurs, trailing by 2-1. We're almost at the midway point of the second half on Talksport 2. Son goes back to Van der Ven, midway point of the Wolves half. Shovels it out to the left wing and Maddison. Son's out there with him on this near side to us, with Spurs attacking the north stand in this second half. Somewhat unusually for them, they prefer to be attacking the south stand to our right in the second period of home games. Now Pape Sarr finds Kulusevski into the area, looking for Ben Davies, who made a run into the inside right channel from left back, but Wolves get it clear. Ait Nouri brings the ball down neatly on his chest, spins for a moment to try and get away from Emerson Royal, but he's dispossessed. Wolves try and win the ball back, and Kilman just puts his boot through it and whacks it downfield. Fulham 1, Aston Villa 2. Rodrigo Muniz gets a goal back for Fulham. Walsall 2-1 up on Mansfield. They lead again through Emmanuel Adegboyega. I hope I've said that right. Hearts 1, Motherwell 0. Lawrence Shanklin with another for the Scottish international in the Scottish Premiership, and Dundee 2, Ross County 0 elsewhere in Scottish top flight. Maddison and Richarlison trying to combine. Cleared away by Semedo, only as far as Ben Davies, midway point of the half. Tottenham attacking now with Son Heung-min, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Back inside to Maddison, works it onto his right and fires it over the crossbar. That wasn't far. I'm not sure whether Jose Sarr had that covered, because he really walloped that, James Maddison. But over the bar it went for a Wolves goal kick. Spurs 1, Wolves 2 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, just James Maddison find himself in that inside left position, just gets the ball onto his right foot. He's actually tried to give Jose Sarr the eyes, because Jose Sarr thinks he's going to go high to his left-hand side, just whips it back across his body, trying to go to the top right-hand corner. Just went about half a yard over the crossbar. He said Dance had Jose Sarr scrambling, a little bit of relief. You have to say the Wolves goal from João Gomes come against the run of play, Dance, but it just shows you the positive intent that Gary O'Neill has put his Wolverhampton Wanderers team out to play, because João Gomes, he must have run 70 yards to get into the penalty area.
Maddison can launch a counter-attack here for Spurs. Here's Kulusevski up against Totti. Steps inside, 25 yards out. Diagonal ball to the far post intended for Pape Sarr, but Kilman got across and flicked it behind for yet another Spurs corner. I make that at least 8 that they've won in this game. It's at the north stand end. 2-1 Wolves.
Yep, Spurs again trying to exert some pressure. Kulusevski coming in for that right-hand side, just getting onto his left foot, just trying to dink it to the far post to Pape Sarr. Really good defending from Maximilian Kilman at the far post. It's getting a little touch on it, corner for Spurs on their left-hand side.
Anthony Taylor just talking about a bit of bumping and boring in the penalty area. There's a packed 6-yard box as well, and it will be a corner kick for Maddison. Right-footed in-swinger right to that packed 6-yard box, headed away by the man who scored 2 goals for Wolves this afternoon, João Gomes. Out for a throw to Spurs.
All James Maddison's trying to do, Dance, because last week Norgard's goal for Brentford was where they just whipped it in on top of Jose Sarr. That's all Maddison's trying to do. Son Heung-min's trying to just pin Jose Sarr in. But what you've got to make sure is when you take the corner, you make sure you miss the first man.
20 minutes to go. Spurs 1, Wolves 2. Lovely ball played down the left-hand side of the box by Maddison, but just overhit for Ben Davies. Goals elsewhere. Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 2. Bournemouth back in front through Antoine Semenyo at St James's Park. Port Vale back in front against Cheltenham, an own goal from Curtis Davis, and Salford come from 2-1 down to lead 3-2. Here come the changes for Spurs, and it's a triple change. So Timo Werner's coming on for Bissouma, just changing his shirt there, also coming off his Pape Sarr to allow Bentancur to come on, and Brennan Johnson, who scored the winner here against Brighton 7 days ago, he's the other player that's being brought on by Ange Postecoglou, and the player coming off for him is Richarlison. It's been out of sorts a bit today, Richarlison, Perry Grove.
Yeah, he's had a lot of service. It's all been very compact and congested. Richarlison looks like he wants to run obviously in behind. When Wolves defended, they've defended a little bit deep. James Maddison's got himself on the ball a little bit more in the second half, but hasn't been able to pick out Richarlison. So quite rightly, with just 71 minutes gone, Ange Postecoglou's got to ring the changes. Bentancur obviously come play in that deeper midfield position, but he's the one who's got that little bit of vision, Dance. He's got that bit of creativity.
Cricket back on in the morning, live on Talksport 2, exclusive ball-by-ball commentary. After day 3, India 322 runs ahead, 196 for 2 in their second innings. England were bowled out for 319 earlier today. Ball-by-ball commentary from 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, and our coverage starts at 3:30 in the morning. Timo Werner gets his first touch as coming on as a substitute for Tottenham, rolls it back to Son. 25 yards from goal, played the ball in field, and Mario Lemina stepped out so expertly from the back line and won possession back, and he's gone again down the right hand side, but the ball intended for him drifts out of play. So it's currently Tottenham 1, Wolves 2. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Spurs to win at 4-1, Wolves to hang on for the win 4-5, the draw is 2-1. That's all thanks to William Hill. You get epic value all season with William Hill, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. And Jon Rickner Beyegaard has come on for Pablo Sarabia for Wolves, whilst I was giving you the odds from our friends at William Hill. 1-1 at Brisbane Road. Burton Albion equalise at Leyton Orient through Mason Bennett. And Cheltenham 2, Port Vale 2 at the completely Suzuki in League One. Jack Shepherd with the equaliser. And Carlisle Cambridge 2 elsewhere in League One. Sam Lavelle with a second for the U's up at Brunton Park. It was an own goal from Sam Lavelle. Here's Kulusevski down the left-hand side of the box, tries to fire the ball along the deck across the face of goal, but it was blocked out. A play for a throw by Nelson Semedo. 17 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Spurs 1, Wolves 2. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you. Thrown in by Ben Davies for Mickey van der Ven. Trying to get Kulusevski away down the left-hand side of the box, but he shoved the defenders to the ground, and Anthony Taylor says that's a free kick. 2-1 Wolves.
He did well there. Nelson Semedo made sure he got his body in between Kulusevski and the ball. Just looking at Spurs dance, Kulusevski will drop a bit deeper and play in midfield alongside Bentancur. Brennan Johnson go out on the right-hand side. Timo Werner will go through the middle as the centre forward, with Son still on this left-hand side.
2-1 Wolves. 3-3 at the tough sheet. Bolton 3, Charlton 3. John Daddy Budvarsson.
At the where?
Tough sheet.
Well, that's what George Graham used to say to me when I showed my one in the team.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Ball's rolled up to Hwang Hee-chan for Wolves. Is he wrestled to the ground by Mickey van der Ven? Yes, he was, says Anthony Taylor, and Wolves have a free kick midway point of the Tottenham Hotspur half of the field. Calvin Phillips has been sent off for West Ham at Nottingham Forest. That's goalless, but he's had a yellow card. And 2 lemons make a... Oh, of course, Nottingham Forest are 1-0 up, sorry, Awanye, but what do 2 lemons make?
A strawberry.
So he's joined that particular file with his second yellow card. It's not a good start to his loan spell at West Ham for Calvin Phillips. And Awanye with that goal right on half-time. Now Forest are a goal up and a man up. Free kick to Wolves, 2-1 up. Wolves holding a line a good 25 yards out. Neto will dink it up to the edge of the area. Aït-Nouri can chest it down, but he couldn't get hold of it. What a chance for Ryan Aït-Nouri, who stole in at the back post, but the first touch off his chest let the ball get away from him, and it's behind for a goal kick. 2-1 Wolves.
Oh, that is really poor play from Aït-Nouri. I said there he sprung the offside trap. Great little ball from Pedro Neto just dinking it to the far post, and it was like a barrel chest, wasn't it, from Aït-Nouri there, Dance, where he just got to relax and make sure that the ball just hits his chest and just comes down to his feet. He's actually put his chest out and just basically smashed it out of play.
Carlisle 0, Cambridge 3 now at Brunton Park. Elias Kachunga with the third for Cambridge. You're listening to Talksport 2. There's quarter of an hour to play here. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you. Spurs are behind again, as they were last week, but as they bid to make it 6 successive Premier League home wins here, they've got to find 2 goals from somewhere to do that. Wolves lead, 2 goals from João Gomez. Sandwiched in between that was an equaliser early in the second half from Kulusevski. Here's Son, back in the starting lineup for Spurs this afternoon. Rolling the ball back to Van der Ven. Van der Ven square ball for Romero, just ahead of the centre circle. Just to his right is Kulusevski, can dart towards the right-hand corner of the box. Out on the right-hand side is Royale. Back for Kulusevski. Infield it goes to Christian Romero. Wolves really have got everybody in a low block. Royale looking to jink to the touchline and puts the cross in. Dawson diverts it over the crossbar. Yet another corner for Spurs, their 9th of the game. Morecambe equaliser, AFC Wimbledon 1-1. Cheltenham 3, Port Vale 2. Will Ferry for Cheltenham in a topsy-turvy game at the Completely Suzuki. And 5-0 to Arsenal. Kai Havertz at Turf Moor.
Football's the winner.
Corner for Spurs. Whipped in by Maddison. Up went Romero, but it was headed away by Dawson. Only as far as Emerson Royale. Oh, poor touch. Hwang will pick it up. Won't quite get the ball over halfway. Now he does. Pedro Neto's got Bayagard calling for it to his left. He slid it into Bayagard. Will it run for Bayagard? Yes, it will. Takes his time, but then by the time he got the shot away, there were 3 Spurs players behind the ball, and Spurs can clear. Wolves did not take another gilt-edged opportunity on the counter-attack there.
Dance, Wolves might come to rue that chance from Bayagard there, because it was fantastic play again from Pedro Neto on this right-hand side. Can he pick the right pass? Exactly what he did. It was the perfect pace on the pass to Bayagard. Bayagard's got to take it first time. Emerson Royale gets back to try and defend. Bentancur gets back. Bayagard gets it on his right foot. He's got to smash it and take it earlier. Takes another touch, ends up just getting smothered. That is a brilliant chance for Wolves on the counter-attack. You have to say that every time it comes out to Pedro Neto on this right-hand side, in this second half, Dance, he's picked the right pass every single time. And Wolves should be maybe 3-4-1 up with the chances they've had.
But it is still only 2-1 to Gary O'Neill's men with 12 minutes of normal time to go on Talksport 2. Leyton Orient 1, Burton Albion 2. Toto Enciala puts Burton ahead. Salford 4, Barrow 2 now. Matt Smith again. Here's Spurs down the right-hand side with Brennan Johnson. Wins a corner off Totti Gomez. Claims for a penalty, but it is a goal kick in the end. They say it came off Brennan Johnson last of all, who's got that wide-eyed stare of, what, me? Goal kick, Spurs 2-1 down.
Yeah, it was really good defending from Totti. He had to make sure that he timed the tackle perfectly as Brennan Johnson tries to go on the outside of him on Spurs' right-hand side. Just gets his left foot in, just seeing the chance again from Bayagard. Lets it roll to him from Bentancur. Then Emerson Royale does the long barrier. Just Bayagard's just taken too long, Dance, to get his shot away.
Colchester 1, Accrington Stanley 1. An own goal from Riley Harbottle. That
VAR.
Offside. Yeah. Can't be offside if your own player puts it in the back of the net. Colchester starting the day in 22nd. Their first loss in 5 last time out, but a few too many draws, I guess, for the U's liking. Here's Wolves in possession on the halfway line with Semedo in a bit of space. Bayagard making a run further down the right-hand side. Gets it now, faced up by Van der Ven. Level with the edge of the area. Tries to drive past Van der Ven. Gets to the byline. Hits it against Van der Ven. He's won a corner for Wolves at the south stand end. Good industry from Jean-Rick Bayagard, the former Strasbourg man. Corner to Wolves with just over 10 minutes to go. The visitors still lead on Talksport 2 by 2-1.
Yeah, it was a really good play from Bayagard, just trying to go on the outside of Van der Ven. Van der Ven looked like that he's got his block in, and then Bayagard fell over, and then the ball just rolled out for a corner for Wolves on their right-hand side. They're not going to be any hurry to take it. Pedro Neto will come over.
So it will be Neto with a left-footed in-swinger. Beargard's there for a short corner option if he wants to use that. But Neto goes deep to the far post. Lamina back across the face of goal, hooked up in the air. Craig Dawson tries to make something of it. Out to the left-hand side. Lamina again with a drive, and it's straight into the chest of Vicario. And it stays 2-1 to Wolves. And now you can hear the natives getting a bit more restless here, Perry Groves.
Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration because when the ball came into Vicario's actually brilliant volley from Lamina, just as he's falling to the floor, and they wanted Vicario just to deliver the ball to Timo Werner out on this left-hand side, and he took his time. That enabled Wolves to get himself back in that 5-3-2 shape. So I think now with 10 minutes to go, you're going to see Wolves drop that little bit deeper on the edge of the 18-yard box, and it's can Spurs just fashion that chance that they need to get themselves back in at 2-2.
Bentancur finds Van der Ven, centre of the Wolves half, out to the left-hand corner of the box, and Werner. Davis on the overlap, pulls the cross back, headed up and out by Joao Gomez, nodded down there by Royal for Maddison, turns Joao Gomez, still has the ball at his feet, diving for the byline. Maddison elects not to cross, holds on to it, just runs out the penalty area right-hand side, then lays it off to Romero. Really good stuff from James Maddison to keep hold of the ball. Van der Ven in the centre of the half again, plays it back out to Werner, left-hand corner of the area, this time Kulusevski on the overlap, but Werner goes back infield to Christian Romero. Royal faced up by Joao Gomez. It's really tight and compact in that inside right position, no space in which Spurs players can operate, so they're going to go left for Kulusevski, left-hand corner of the box. Werner's just ahead of him. Timo Werner down the left-hand side of the area, faced up by Kilman, chips the ball to the far post. Nouri heads it half clear and very calmly nodded down by Neto, so Joao Gomez could loft it up to halfway. 2-1 Wolves.
Dan, all 20 outfield players were in the width of the 18-yard box of Wolverhampton Wanderers there. So, as I say, Spurs need to get a bit more width. Timo Werner's now come out on this left-hand side. Brendan Johnson's gone out on the right-hand side.
Got 8 minutes to go now, Perry.
Just see James Maddison there, obviously, because Wolves are letting Spurs' two centre-halves, Romero and Mickey Van der Ven, just have the ball. They're happy to see it in front of them, and James Maddison is actually screaming at his centre-halves to get the ball moved.
Screaming like a Dutchman. He's screaming.
He's screaming like Martin Jol and Steve McLaren, the hybrid.
Left-hand side, Ben Davis for Spurs. Plays the ball into the edge of the area. Kulusevski can't take the ball with him. Bentancur plays it across to Royal. Edge of the area, goes for goal. Good save by Sarr. Plunged down to his right-hand side and held on to it well. There's goals going in elsewhere. Norwich are 4-1 up on Cardiff. Christian Fasnacht with the fourth. Birmingham 2, Sunderland 1. Koji Miyoshi. Birmingham have come from behind. And Northampton 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Chris Martin, the veteran, gets one back for the Gas at Sixfields.
See?
I believe
in Mogu we trust.
I said that at half-time, did I not? Here's Hwang Hee-chan, looking to burst clear for Wolves. Van der Ven's gone with him, down the left-hand side of the box. Hwang will hold it up for a moment and give the ball to Nouri. Now Neto on that left-hand side. Lovely quick feet from him as he gets up to the edge of the area, but then he runs into Emerson Royal, fouls him. Free kick. Leicester get a goal back against Middlesbrough. Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 2. Jamie Vardy. Tranmere 4, Stockport 0. The League 2 leaders well beaten there. Connor Jennings with Tranmere's fourth. And we've got 6.5 minutes left here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 6.5 minutes plus added time for Ange Postecoglou to do something, and he's making 2 further changes. Gio Lo Celso and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg are coming on in a moment, but Spurs are coming forward with Son Heung-min down the left-hand side of the area. Tries to play the ball along the deck off the heels of Beergaard for a 10th corner of the game to Tottenham Hotspur, but they trail 2-1.
Yeah, just Son Heung-min just trying to roll it into Kulusevski on the edge of the 18-yard box. Beergaard did brilliant because he got himself back in that defensive position. James Maddison will take the corner again, Spurs' left-hand side, and again all he's going to do is just trying to put it on top of Jose Sarr in Wolves' goal.
Here it comes then from Maddison into the near post. It just misses out Timo Werner. Will come back out to this near side. There's 4 Spurs players going for the same ball. Then Kulusevski tries to play in Maddison down the left-hand side of the box, and that is superb defending from Nelson Semedo to protect the ball, to get himself between James Maddison and the ball and let the ball trickle over the dead ball line for a goal kick. So this double change is being made. Maddison is coming off, and so too is Emerson Royal. So Gio Lo Celso back fit, back in the Spurs squad. He's coming on. And Maddison's race is run. He said he couldn't feel anything in his legs after the game last week, so he's given all he can this afternoon. And with these scorelines, Spurs are behind. Villa are 2-0 up at Fulham at the moment, 2-1 up rather. And so Spurs will drop out of the top 4 as things stand at the end of the afternoon. There will be 2 points behind Aston Villa. 49 points for Villa, 47 to Tottenham. 5 minutes to go. Spurs coming forward. Kulusevski got it all wrong, trying to thread the ball through the inside left channel for Werner. Wolves get the ball clear. Hooked back towards the halfway line neatly by Ben Davies. Kulusevski, there's a Wolves player down holding the back of his head. It's Hwang, I think. Play will continue without him as he slowly gets to his feet. Timo Werner driving for the byline. Good cross. Hits the first defender, Kilman, who makes a brilliant headed clearance at his near post. But it's rolled across to Christian Romero. Now Lo Celso, his first involvement, finds Brennan Johnson, another substitute, out on the right-hand side. Back in field it goes to Hojbjerg. Urged to shoot by the locals. Goes to the left-hand corner of the area and Werner into the box, and Kilman just clears it first time. And Vicario is almost at the halfway line to get the loose ball, the Spurs goalkeeper. Davis rides the challenge of Neto. Great run down the left-hand side from the Welshman. The cross hits Semedo and bounces off the defender. And Spurs have a throw as the home side tries to turn the screw. But they're running out of time here, Perry Groves.
Yep, it's getting a little bit frustrated from the Spurs fans because it's all getting very congested. Now Bentancur will probably go and play in the 10 position where James Maddison was playing. Hojbjerg will just sit at the base of the midfield.
They're making a change here. Boubacar Traoré is going to come on in just a moment for Hwang, who was just holding his head. I mentioned a moment ago.
It was a Lazarus dance.
Eventually, he wasn't exactly running around like a spring lamb, but he was back on his feet. Carlo O'Neill, Cambridge 4, Ryan Bennett for Cambridge. And what else have we got here? Northampton 3, Bristol Rovers 1, Mark Leonard. Portsmouth 4-0 up on Reading, now Colby Bishop. And Doncaster 5-1 up at Grimsby, Kyle Hurst. Tottenham 2-1 down here at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are set to win 3 league games in a row against Tottenham for the first time in their history. 5-2 to Salford against Barrow. Matt Smith with a hat-trick. Spurs have the ball in the centre circle with Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. Plays a square ball to Ben Davies. Werner calling for it out on this left wing. Receives it now. Infield it goes to Bentancur. And now Werner again, wearing gloves on what's a very mild February afternoon. Clips the ball back in field for Van der Ven. Van der Ven across for Christian Romero. Bentancur tries to tuck the ball in field. Wolves have won it back. And it's threaded through by Beergaard, and suddenly Pedro Neto is away. Van der Ven closing down the space. Aitnor on the outside. Pedro Neto went for goal, bit selfish, got underneath it, and it went way, way over the crossbar. And then Pedro Neto lies flat on his back, exhausted. And it'll be a Spurs goal kick in the end. 2-1 Wolves.
Yeah, I think Pedro Neto might have just overextended his hamstring. There's another good breakaway from Wolves on the left-hand side. He should just be rolling Aitnor in, and he's just gone for glory himself. And as he's taken his shot with his left foot, so I think he's just hyperextended his left hamstring. Anthony Taylor basically just tells him to get up, or he's going to go off for 30 seconds, which Wolverhampton Wanderers can't afford to do.
In League One, Derby take a late lead against Stevenage. Louis Sibley makes it Derby 1, Stevenage 0. Will Steve Evans criticise the referee? Don't forget Men in Black, one of the features on Sunday session. Alex Crook with Perry tomorrow from 1:30 on Talksport. With your Sunday smiles, your sounds of the weekend, and updates on the 2 Premier League games tomorrow afternoon.
And Men in Black was introduced so that we can actually give the officials some credit where credit's due, and I will be giving Anthony Taylor a mention in dispatches. I think he's refereed this game absolutely brilliantly, Dance.
Yeah, he's allowed the rough and tumble without it getting too silly. Free kick though to Spurs, out on the right-hand side. We're in the last 30 seconds of normal time. Spurs trailing by 2-1. This was after a challenge on Johnson by Aitnouri. Packed penalty area. Wolves holding their line just ahead of the penalty spot. It's about a yard in from the right-hand touchline. Sent into the near post. Up go the heads, and it's headed goalwards by Davies, but straight into the grateful arms of Jose Sarr. Peterborough 1, Blackpool 2. Blackpool may well have won it late on in that dress rehearsal for Tuesday's Football League Trophy semi-final. Karamoko Dembele. And we're moving into 5 minutes of minimum added time here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 5 minutes for Wolves to hang on, 5 minutes for Spurs to try and find at least one goal. Would one pacify the home supporters, or do they need to win it to prevent a disgruntled home support exiting back onto the Tottenham High Road?
Well, they'll be looking for a role reversal from the first fixture, dance, weren't they, when Wolves scored their 2 goals in 90 plus minutes.
Given away by Spurs. Wolves have it down the left-hand side of the area, but they probably won't get the cross in. Ait Nouri rolls it back for Totti. Ait Nouri again, neat ball in field for Mario Lemina. Up to the edge of the area, flicked down the left-hand side of the box by João Gomez. Neto at the far post, volleys it wastefully wide. Does it hit the corner flag? Almost, not quite. But it is a goal kick to Tottenham Hotspur, and they want to get on with it, but Spurs want to make Wolves rather want to make a change, and they want to bring on one of Spurs' old boys, Matt Doherty. Made 300 appearances in his first spell at Wolves before he was sold to Tottenham in 2020 for 13 million. Came on a free transfer in July, and he's going to come on for Pedro Neto for these added time minutes. It is Spurs 1, Wolves 2.
Yeah, it's just purely fatigue there from Pedro Neto. He's been absolutely outstanding this game today. Always been a threat on the counter-attack, playing up front with Wang Hee-Chang. He always gives you that little bit of quality, exactly what he did for João Gomez's second goal. Picked the right pass at the right time. Now it's just Wolves can hang on to this 2-1 lead with 3 minutes of added on time to go.
It's out to the left-hand side. Very quiet inside this stadium, considering what Spurs have to try and do. Kulusevski rolls it back to Bentancur. Nearly 2 minutes of minimum 5 have elapsed. It's with Mickey van der Ven, just ahead of the centre circle. To his right, receiving the ball now is Romero. Back for van der Ven. Plays the ball along the deck to Kulusevski, inside left position. Werner on his outside has it now, level with the edge of the area. Plays a 1-2, an attempted 1-2 with Kulusevski. Wolves get it half clear. Newcastle equalise against Bournemouth, 2-2. Matt Ritchie in stoppage time.
Did he celebrate?
Against his old club. I bet he did.
Hope so.
Here's Bentancur, centre of the Wolves half. Tottenham behind. Kulusevski waits in the box. Is Bentancur trying to get the cross in. Lobs it into the area. Brought down by Werner. Tries to make space for a shot. Hits Dawson. Down goes Sarr and pounces on top of the loose ball. And the danger passes for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And they still lead 2-1.
Dance, that was over my dead body, defending from Matt Dawson. Just making sure he stayed nice and big when it came to Timo Werner. Matt Dawson made sure he blocked the first shot with his feet. As it come back to Timo Werner, Matt Dawson get himself off the floor. And quite rightly, Anthony Taylor said no. Matt Dawson put his hands inside his body, not to make him bigger. That's the sort of defending you need when you're 2-1 up away from home with 2 minutes to go.
Spurs fans, you can react to this on the Game Day phone-in over on Talksport from 5:30 with Jamie O'Hara and Dean Saunders, who both represented Wolves at one time. Wolves fans, you will want to celebrate this win with Jamie and Dean if you get the 3 points. Here comes the cross from Spurs into the area, ricochets around the box, desperate clearance from João Gomez, comes out to Højbjerg. Højbjerg finds Kulusevski, right-hand corner of the area, 90 seconds to go. Kulusevski works it infield to Bentancur. Bentancur works the ball onto his right, back out to Kulusevski at the right-hand corner of the area. Deep cross, Davis with a header in front of goal, plants it well wide. Massive chance for Ben Davis, unmarked, 6 yards out, but he headed it wastefully wide. Goal kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who still lead 2-1.
Dance, that could be the chance that Spurs were looking for. Brilliant play from Bentancur over on that left-hand side, just feeds it into the 18-yard box. Ben Davis, totally unmarked, edge of 6-yard box. He looks like he's got a crash helmet on, Dance, because all he's got to do is just let it come off of his forehead, just get a glancing header. It will give Jose Sarr no chance in the Wolverhampton Wanderers goal, and he just gets his angles all wrong. Big chance. Anthony Taylor now telling Jose Sarr to get on with the game, because obviously he's just trying to run the clock down. Huge chance for Ben Davis.
30 seconds of the minimum 5 left. Leicester have lost in the Championship to Middlesbrough by 2-1. Cleared away. for Wolves by Totti, flicked on by Bergard, almost broke for Ait Nouri, who was making a run through the inside left channel. Boubacar Traoré works it back into his own half for Semedo. Semedo finds Ait Nouri, he's onside towards the edge of the area. On the overlap, it's Doherty against his old club, and toe pokes it wide, but then the flag goes up for offside, and it'll be a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur, and they have to get on with it now. It's now down to Anthony Taylor. How many more seconds we play on? Wolves 2-1 up. Gary O'Neill desperate for all his players to get back behind the ball. Davis, crossfield pass. What a pass! Brennan Johnson tried to play across the face and got blocked by Totti. Johnson retrieves it, gives it back to Højbjerg. Johnson again, right wing, cuts inside Totti. Gomez goes down inside the area. No penalty. Lo Celso works it back, chipped in by Bentancur. Nobody at the far post for Spurs. Semedo lets the ball run across his body, and there goes the full-time whistle. Huge hugs. Gary O'Neill and his staff celebrate because Wolverhampton Wanderers have ended Spurs' winning streak at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They've now won 3 of their last 4 away in the Premier League, and they've won their last 3 in London, and they did it with a brace from João Gomes, the second on a quite brilliant counter-attack in the second half after Dejan Kulusevski had equalised for Spurs early in the second half, and Spurs drop out of the top 4 with this result. Wolves delighted to get another 3 points on the road, and for the first time in their history they've won 3 league games in succession against Tottenham Hotspur, and Gary O'Neill once again will take the plaudits for another very smart coaching display to get the better of Ange Postecoglou. Bit of disbelief around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium that it's not gone their way, not the euphoria we saw last week. Wolves go back up to the West Midlands with all 3 points. It's finished here. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Thank you very much, Dan. The people cheering around me aren't cheering your commentary, but they should be. They're actually cheering Nottingham Forest scoring a second. We'll get on to that in a second. But I mean, Harry, in that game it was a case of the second half being 2 shocks. We got that shock, Tottenham shocked Wolves with that very early goal, and then that counter-attack, João Gomes putting in all that effort to make it 2-1. An absolutely deserved victory for Wolves.
Very much so. I have to say, the Wolverhampton Wanderers coaching staff went absolutely apoplectic after the game. There was hugs all round. Everybody made their way to Gary O'Neill, and I'm not surprised, John, because it was a tactical masterclass from Gary O'Neill here today. We said about the 5-3-2 formation that he played. Wolves were very, very sharp and very incisive on the counter-attack. You have to say the winning goal from João Gomes came against run of play because Spurs were putting Wolves under pressure, but I think that just summed Wolverhampton Wanderers up, because when the ball came out to Pedro Neto on the right hand side, there was no one in the centre forward position, and João Gomes, he ran from the edge of his own box to the penalty spot, and it was a brilliant ball from Pedro Neto across the 18-yard box right on the penalty spot, and João Gomes just whipped it with his right foot, gave Ricardo absolutely no chance whatsoever in the Spurs goal to put Wolves 2-1 up. And you have to say then it was back-to-wall defending for the rest of that half. Ange Postecoglou made 5 substitutions. He went all in. He played basically like 5 up front, but it was all too congested. Spurs didn't have enough width. The 3 centre halves, Kilman, Dawson and Totti, were outstanding in that last 20-25 minutes. We see the Wolverhampton Wanderers players just going over and paying homage to their Wolves fans over in that far left-hand corner, and they've been well worth this 2-1 victory here today.
You said at half-time that Gary O'Neill had got his tactics spot on. I mean, they've already beaten Chelsea home and away. That now means they've beaten Spurs home and away. It's the first win, the first double they've done over Spurs for over, 12, 13, 14 years since 2009, 2010. I mean, what is it about Gary O'Neill who just seems to get his tactics right against these big sides?
Well, I think what happened was he'd seen the way that Spurs want to play, obviously with their inverted fullbacks. Today it was Ben Davies and Morel coming into that midfield. Yeah. He knew it was, they tried to overload you in that midfield area. So all he did was he just made sure that he had his 2 midfield players, Amina and João Gomes. They stayed central. Sarabia come back and made that extra player in there. That congested it. James Maddison couldn't get himself on the ball. But what he did brilliantly is he made sure that he left Hwang Hee-Chang and Pedro Neto up front. So every time Wolves got the ball, they were a threat. They were a threat on the counter-attack. In the first half, they had 4 or 5 opportunities where they picked the wrong pass. In the second half, we'd say Bellegarde missed a brilliant chance, obviously put Wolves 3-1 up, but that one bit of quality that you need, when Pedro Neto has that quality, he found the right pass at the right time. I think Ange Postecoglou will be very disappointed with his team's performance in the first half. They didn't move the ball quick enough. In the second half, James Maddison started to get himself on that ball a little bit more, and when Kulusevski got the equaliser, obviously Wolves had gone to sleep completely. It was a throw-in on the right-hand side from Emerson Royale, went to Richarlison, and then Craig Dawson's got to do better. Kulusevski did brilliantly well, got to the byline and toe-poked it through Jose Sarr's legs to put Spurs back in the game at 1-1, and you thought they'd go on to win it, but Wolves, they were stoic, they were really good in their defending. Kilman, Dawson, Totti were outstanding, but you'd have to say, I can't give Gary Neal the man of the match, obviously, because he's the manager, but you understand what I'm saying, John?
If you would, you could.
Yeah, I would, because you say he's come here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where Spurs have won the last 5 on the trot in the Premier League, and he set his team out perfectly, and his team executed his plan. He will be delighted, and he will be maybe disappointed, because if you looked at the shots on target away from home, Wolves have had 7 shots on target, so that just shows you the quality they had when they were breaking on the counter-attack, and they end up deservedly winning the game 2-1.
Yeah, I'll give you another stat as well. Gary O'Neill's become the first manager to win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for 2 opposing teams, different teams. So there we go. You couldn't pick him out of the match when you put the manager in there, but you have to pick him out of the match for us now, all thanks to Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
So an honorary mention to the manager, Gary O'Neill, but who are you picking for man of the match, Perry?
Well, I'm going to give some mention in dispatches. I thought Craig Dawson defended brilliantly, apart from he was at fault for Kulusevski's goal where he should do better. His passing range was brilliant. He put his body on the line. I thought Mario Lemina was excellent in that centre midfield area. We've mentioned Pedro Neto was always class on the counter-attack, but this one, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to work this one out. Obviously, Wolves winning 2-1 away from home. João Gomez getting a brace. Brilliant header from Sarabhia's corner in the first half. Gave Vicario absolutely no chance. And it was just his desire and his work ethic to get himself on the end of Pedro Neto's perfect ball from the right-hand side. Got himself on a penalty spot. Unerring finish past Vicario. Gave him absolutely no chance. So if your team wins away at Tottenham Hotspur and you get a brace of goals, then you would expect to be named man of the match, so I'm going to give it to João Gomez.
Rightfully so. That was our man of the match for today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport.